What's up? Leading the line when we run up, chasing. Every day we chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? You on the chase to the sun now. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? You on the chase to the sun now. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Track of time, I apologize, mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Wake and bake, won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights, gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is grit, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind, go to a line that's been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second wind kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up, chasing. Every day we chasing. No time to be wasted.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome in. We are here today to continue our journey in the Infinite Sunday series. This is our fall series. It is round 3. And on the graphic on the screen in front of us, you can see we are at Indy Motor Speedway. This is going to be a beauty of a race. It is going to be a 1-hour endurance race here this evening around Indy Motor Speedway, and the drivers will have a mandatory pit stop for fuel tonight. So they will be required to make one pit stop tonight and take fuel. I believe there's no limit on the fuel there to take, so that means they must take a minimum of 1 liter of fuel, and then they can continue on, and that'll clear their mandate here for our race tonight. So welcome in again on behalf of Infinite Racing League, partnered with Coach Dave Academy. I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and this will be a family-friendly broadcast. We are going to be joined again by our co-host Choco from Infinite Racing League, and we may have a championship driver from the recent past season come and join us here for a little bit tonight as well. So lots is going to be happening here tonight. But the most important thing is we're going to have a bang up race on an absolutely spectacular motor circuit. Indy is a spectacular racing circuit, and it is going to provide some great racing here tonight. The drivers are going to have to really take care and caution coming into turns 1 and 2. We have a stacked lobby again here in round 3. We're going to see 30 cars, I believe, take the grid here today. So that's going to make for a doozy. doozy of a race. So I'm just kind of been watching what's going on here in free practice for the last 20 minutes or so. And of course, our championship points leader coming into round three, JP, looking very strong here again today. But there are drivers there that are nipping right there at his heels. Notable is our defending champion, Johnny B, will not be here for round three. So that is going to be a tough charge back for him here in the remaining part of the season. But we've talked with Johnny B plenty of times here over the seasons in podium interviews, and we know that he is most certainly going to definitely be up to the challenge. So it's going to be interesting to see. We talk about JP a lot. The guy's had incredible pace this season, and so far we're wondering if anybody has an answer for him here, and I guess we'll see if anybody has one here at Indy tonight. But what I have been seeing here in practice is some drivers that are just returning from last season or brand new to the series are running some relatively good pace here around Indy tonight. So it's going to be an interesting race. It's going to be a very interesting race. It's a very flowing racetrack. It's a tough, hard battling racetrack, and there's definitely some great opportunities for passing here in this racetrack. And there's definitely some areas where you just really got to watch your nose and your tail of your race car and just try to get through nice and clean and not lose any time to the guys in front of you. So it should be interesting to see. We've seen some great racing here from this group so far this season, and I mean round 3 of 8. So things are starting to get serious here now. As again, we do have that $150 PlayStation gift card prize pool on the line here for our top 3 this season as well. So just a little extra incentive for these drivers, and of course, with the bragging rights, which is always so important for our drivers here. So let's knock this guy out of the way here and let you guys just take a little look at what I'm seeing here. Hey, good luck everyone. How you doing, Miss D? Hope you're doing fantastic today. Magic Man, what up, Ghost? How you doing, my guy? Hope you're doing fantastic as well. Racing tonight, my dude? Racing tonight? It's Indy, man. You better be on track tonight. And I'm not sure. Our co-host will be joining us here at some point in the race, before the race starts, I'm sure. And again, we'll be joined by Fall Series 1 champion MX Bloxham here at some point tonight too, as well, to give us a little bit of insight on what the challenges are this season compared to past seasons. The driver field has definitely gotten a lot more competitive, and it's gotten a lot more full. Which is fantastic. It's created for some fantastic racing so far this season, and I think that's going to be a beautiful trend all season long. So, settle in, get those bevies ready, get your coffees or your adult beverages all cinched into their koozies and their spots. Get your comfortable spot in your living room, and you make sure those snacks are plenty, because if Indy is of any indication of how Mount Panorama was last week, we're in for a 60-minute action-packed race here. If it's not going to be battles for position, it's going to be lap traffic starting to change the way that the race is looking. We've seen lots of different things here. Definitely some crazy great moments from Mount Panorama last week, though, and I believe there's a highlight video made from one of the drivers from last week's 90 minutes of Mount Panorama as well. So that was to mimic, of course, the 6 hours of Bathurst race. It was all-time variable to mimic 6 hours of racing. So it was definitely a challenge for our drivers last week. So that we get to come into a little more flowing, open racetrack here and let these cars kind of open up a little bit. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the drivers transition from a more very difficult flowing racetrack to still a flowing technical racetrack when you get into the infield part here at Indy, but definitely a lot more flowing. So a little more forgiving in a sense. There's some runoff space here on the racetrack, as you can see on the screen there. A couple of drivers have used it here at free practice, as those aero barriers are just demolished. They're lying on the side of the racetrack there, and that's just the way it's going to be. So it's going to be a very interesting night of racing, to say the least, for sure. So again, we're just waiting for our cohort to jump in the booth with us here, and then we should be ready for qualifying here in about 2 or 3 minutes time. So we got 1.5 minutes left on the clock for free practice. So that's what's on the screen in front of us here right now. This is just a free practice run. And of course, we don't have the stream audio turned on right now, as we're just hanging out with all the great racing fans out there. So again, this is on the Assetto Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 platform, and should make for a pretty good night of racing. And while I'm thinking about it, I got to go make a couple of adjustments here. So just bear with me for a second, chat. I forgot to do this when I set the stream up tonight. I don't know why. I was not like scrambling or anything today, so I don't know. Just slacking, I guess. Just slacking. So let me get all this dialed in here real quick. It'll take about a minute and a half here. Just gotta update the information basically on both the YouTube channels. So that's what we're doing right now. And that just helps us get a little more reach out there on this great YouTube platform. If you're new to the stream, whether it be the GT45 or the IRL YouTube channel as well, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and that share, that'd be fantastic. It's free to do, and it just helps us force the platform to push the content out. And if you enjoy the content, definitely don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and turn on all those live notifications, and you'll always be notified when there's a great moment of racing action, whether it be here on the Set of Corsa Competizione or the Gran Turismo 7 platform. We do work on both platforms. GT7 is the main platform, but ACC is starting to become more relevant here with GT45 Gaming and some of these great organizations like the Infinite Racing League, for example. I've been working with this group for a little while now, and they're a fantastic group. I'm in the paddock, hopefully ready for Q. Good luck, my dude. Go get them. Go get him, my man. Got Rockefeller Racing up in the house here over on the YouTube. Love to see him up in the series here. Definitely some good friends. Love to see him on track racing, representing as always. All right, so I think we're getting ready for qual here. So let's go take a look. Let's go see what we see here in the garage. This is kind of where all our information is placed. We don't spend a whole lot of time here during actual racing conditions just because it's kind of visually distracting, and hopefully we get a little bit of we're working on some outside sources to brighten things up for you. We got some new stuff coming here in the future from Infinite Racing League as well for everybody, so we hope you all do enjoy it. So Rapid Duck and JP are battling really good there for that ultimate top spot in practice here, so it should be quite interesting to see. As you can see, Rapid Duck had just stole that fast time away from JP at the end of that running free practice here. So now it's qualifying. We got 15 minutes for qualifying. We're going to jump on board with Rapid Duck. We're going to jump back out on track. We're going to turn some audio on for everybody so you can hear these beautiful cars roar. And let's get ready to send some racing. Good luck, drivers. How you doing, Joe? We appreciate you. So there we go. The field is on its way out, and for some reason it kicked us off of Rapid Duck. So I guess we'll jump on board with our current points leader here, JP. Has proven to be very fast, and the funny thing is, when we talked to JP in the last 2 rounds of racing in the podium interview, he says, and I quote, "I'm still learning how to drive this car fully, but we're definitely enjoying our time in this Lamborghini." So I mean, this guy hasn't even figured this car out fully yet, and he's already showing to be the man to beat here in the series this season. So what happens when he figures this car out is my next biggest question. Alright, so this is just the out lap. So it's we're seeing about a minute 40 times on average here around Indy, give or take, depending on the driver, depending on the skill level, and of course the setup on the car. I think we just had a car off track there as JP was coming around off on the left side there, and hate to see it, but lots of time to get reset and get out and get a lap in here because it's just the start of qualifying. So you see JP there, I think he's just buying himself some space. I think he's trying to scrub his tires in a little bit there. You see him braking, kind of dragging those brakes. So I think he's trying to heat his tires up a little bit here. Also, I think by doing that, he also gave himself a little bit of space from the car up in front of him there, and a little bit of smart thinking there by JP. Of course, the driver in behind also doing much of the same thing there. GLR Racer realized what he was doing there and backed off and gave a little extra space for himself there as well. So Already strategies coming into play here as we're going around turn 1 and 2 here now. So this is officially going to be a registered hot lap here in qualifying now. So if the driver's cut a track limit and race control figures or confirms that that was a track limit violation, it will actually negate that lap. So what will happen is up at the top left hand side of the screen there, you will see a time. Right now it's in white. That means that it's still a valid lap. If that goes red, that means that that lap is now invalidated, and they'll have to go all the way around that lap and then try again on the next hot lap. So you only have 15 minutes, so lots of cars on the racetrack, and not a lot of time really with 15 minutes to make up for a big mistake like that. So you really want to kind of get that first or second lap in there, kind of get that what I call the banked safe lap. Get that safe lap in, and then start to work obviously on improving that safe lap from lap to lap around. In a 15-minute qualifier here, I mean, ideally you're really only going to get 6-7 laps at it, and depending whether or not you get mixed up with a little bit of traffic as well in qualifying. Big Red kicked and screamed, pulled a bit, and said ugh, but it did run for 45 minutes. Well, hey, it's a start, man. It's a start. It's a start. How's it going? Good luck to all the drivers. Oop, sorry about the mic hit there. Appreciate you, Court. My bad. I lose track of that thing sometimes. This is just out of my peripheral vision here. Welcome in everybody over at IRL and GT45 YouTube channels here. This is YouTube exclusive content, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get the goods here on a set of Corsa Competition PS5 with Infinite Racing League. You got to be a member of the YouTube channels. This does not see a Facebook. All of our commentary is now going to be moving to the YouTube channel as, well, YouTube is just doing better things for the page right now, so we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. Alright, so JP right now is with the 36.807. Now, I'm not going to lie, not that far off of his practice laps already, and that's only, his second time around here. So, currently sitting on pole with that lap. So, let's go through our field here. Let's take a look at who we got in the grid here tonight. We got Dig Dog back. He's been here all season long as well in another Lamborghini here, currently sitting in 18th position. We got El Bombastico. I believe missed last week's race, but back here this week in that Lamborghini here as well, currently sitting in 12th position here in qualifying. We've got Butler Racing here, our Aussie driver. It's just currently sitting in 22nd in that Aston Martin here, and was looking for a good result last week, but just got a little caught up there and ended up finishing up in the top 10 there still at Mount Panorama. But well, you know how it is, home track. Definitely wanted to see the podium there, but we'll be definitely looking to finish well here again in round 3 as well to continue his charge for championship glory here at Infinite Racing League. We've got Delta Mike here currently sitting in 20th position. We've got Apex Guardian on track here. He's now sitting in 12th position, new to the series here this season, coming from the GT7 community as well, but was definitely excited about this particular combination on the schedule here, and well, look at the best we've seen him here so far all season in qualifying here. Anyways, we got Fluka in 9th position here, and as he crosses that line there, actually moves himself up into P6 there, so that was a good lap. A little bit of contact there from Butler Racing and the Aston Martin on the outside wall there, so cooking a little too hot out of the final corner there as we come into turn 1 and 2 here. We got Vic currently sitting in 11th place here in that Ferrari. We've got Nedward also in a Ferrari here, currently sitting in 22nd position here now, again returning driver. Matt Lilo here, new to the season, but definitely has some pace. Big slide there coming around the corner in the back end of that Ferrari, breaks free on him there. He gathers it back up and continues on, but definitely gonna hurt the lap a little bit there as he comes around, currently sitting in 11th position. We got Tango 2, long-standing driver here at IRL, of course, sitting in 14th position here right now. And the driver always has a great start to the race, but he just always seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, this poor guy. And hoping for a good result here tonight as well. We've got Daughtry here on track as well, coming from Rockefeller Racing, sitting in 15th currently here in the Ferrari. Had a pretty good race in Mount P, but got caught up coming down the mountain mid-late part of the race there. Got a little bit of damage on that car there. It still finished pretty strong, but definitely had more in him there, I think, around Mount P. We got Era Cerebros here in 8th place. This driver is new this season as well, but putting on a show in this Porsche. One of the very few Porsche drivers on the racetrack here this season. And you know, just kept it cool, calm, and collected last week at Mount Panorama, and really just kind of finished strong, again up in that top 10. So cool, calm, consistent driver here is Era Cerebros, and so far sitting up in the top 10, just dropping down in the 10th place right there as he comes around turn 1 and 2. GLR Racers had good pace so far this season, sitting up in 4th place here currently in that BMW here as well. So again, not many BMWs on the field. It's very heavy McLaren, Lamborghini, Ferrari style racing here this season, but we do have some of the oddballs out there, the BMWs, the Lexus. We have some Astons out there. We have a Mercedes here last couple of weeks as well. We got Mad Max here sitting in pit lane in 27th. We got Oreo African here in 25th position. We've got Rapid Duck here, and this guy was challenging JP here at 36.5, sitting in 2nd place. So definitely digging at JP here right now for pole position. It's going to be very close between these two here tonight, I think. We have Call Me CJ here sitting currently in 13th position. Irish Jerry sitting in 23rd position here, returning driver, as well as the last one we were talking about there, Call Me CJ. Kazimitsu, I believe, a new driver, not potentially to IRL, but definitely in the series here this season, and had a pretty good race last week, so sitting 3rd currently right now, has good pace. Lamine here in 17th, been here all season as well. We've got Hi My Name Is back this season, sitting in 9th place currently, so looking pretty strong here so far in that McLaren at Indy. We got Racing Hobo in that McLaren here, currently sitting in 22nd, returning driver as well. Nacho Gearbox, a returning driver in the McLaren here as well in 18th. We got Ramen in 19th. Not sure who that is. I think that might be a new driver tonight here in the series. We got Sam, potentially the same thing here. We've got McCrank back here. He's been here all season as well, currently sitting in 6th place here in the McLaren. Rock Lee out here in 6th place, so having a good run here tonight. He's had a couple of tough races himself here this season. We'll see how that relates to his race pace here tonight. Currently sitting 6th in qualifying, so we're definitely seeing some unfamiliar faces up at the top end of the pack here tonight. And you know, it is a race, it's just a racetrack thing for a lot of these drivers. Some of these drivers just really just have great pace around certain racetracks, and it shows. And you know, Indy's no exception. It's a fan favorite. So when it was released into a set of Corsa Competizione about 6-7 months ago, I mean, there was huge hype built up around it. So it doesn't surprise me that the community's been all over this track, just tearing it up and running laps, getting familiar with it. We've got JP still sitting in pole. He's chilling in pit lane. He must be pretty happy with his time there. We've got Digda in 20th. I'm just trying to find Delta Mike here returning as well. He's in Ferrari this season. Currently sitting in 19th. I believe he was one of the Aston Martin drivers last season. Guardian's up in 11th. Flukas here down to 9th. Vic's up into 6th. Nedward here still sitting in 27th. Who have we not seen yet? Trying to look through the list here as we're going through. I think we've kind of hit every... Oh, Mad Max, there we go. We have not seen this driver yet, another BMW driver, right? He was in pit lane when we hit this driver the first time, so unfamiliar with who this driver is, potentially a new driver here tonight as well. So we got some first timers here on track tonight, and you know, it's not a whole lot different than real life racing. You know, these great sanctioned racing bodies all over North America and Europe and Asia and all that. They go to all these great racetracks, and of course that brings out the local racers that qualify and have the proper, obviously, you know, licensing and everything, and then certifications and all that stuff, obviously, to get the car into the track to race in the series, because of course these racing sanctioning bodies have, you know, a lot of rules, restrictions and things in order to even get involved. But you know, you get a lot of these local racers coming out for these local racetracks, and the local racers are quite quick around here because it's hometown. You know, they run the track a lot, and it tends to throw a wrench into championships like this. So it's always interesting to see what happens when the new faces come in and see what kind of potential crazy pace they have around a specific racetrack. And you know, that might be the only race you see out of them all season, but that one race is taking points away from another you know, full-time racer, which could potentially change the championship point standings. And that's what kind of makes it interesting, right? It's what keeps it kind of live, it keeps it real. And curb not doing any favors for Kazimitsu there. He was a little bent out of shape coming into the sector there, and the curbing finally just unsettled the back end of that race car and put him around there, but it, you know, keeps it out of the wall, keeps it out of damage. He's going to have some flat spots on the tires potentially there. That was a pretty hard slide across the track, but the gravel doing his job and keeping him out of the wall there, so at least he can continue on going around the racetrack. We got about 3 minutes left in qualifying here. He's still sitting third overall here on the grid. We've got McCrank here in fourth. Lamine here again in 17th position. We got Hi My Name is in 11th place here as well. There we go. Gotta get my setup positioning right here. There we go. I think we're in better shape now. Got Racing Hobo here in 21st. We've got Nacho Gearbox here in 18th position. We've got Sam in 25th. McCrank here, he's flying tonight, isn't he? Here in 4th place. Rock Lee's in 8th. Definitely seeing some unfamiliar faces, like I said, up in that top 10 here tonight. We got Ramen here in 20th. JP's chilling, still holding pole position down here with basically a lap, maybe a lap, 2 laps, depending on where these drivers are on the racetrack here, remaining in qualifying. And really, I think Rapid Duck was the only driver really challenging currently up in the top half of the grid for that pole position. Butler Racing sitting in 13th. Delta Mike still holding 19th. Guardian here in 12th, and that's about where he was in free practice here as well. Fluke is in 10th here, so still holding on to top 10 here. But again, a driver that some drivers just don't necessarily qualify well, but they got great race pace. So just because a driver isn't having a great a crazy fast qualifying run doesn't necessarily mean that they are out of the race just because they didn't get you know, top 3 in qualifying. Race pace and qualifying are most certainly 2 different things. We got Vic here in 6th place, Nedward here in 27th. We've got Lilo here in 15th. Tango, Daughtry. Oh man, we've had this discussion before and I've forgotten for some reason. It's been a while, I guess. Era Cerebros here in 4th place. We've got Racer here in 8th. We've got Mad Max in 28th place. And oh, we got a BMW with some very late qualifying damage there, so the crew will be working on that car. There's our Lexus here. We don't have Rig Pig on the grid here tonight, so that is one driver we're missing here tonight. That would be another Lexus on the racetrack. And Rapid Duck here. Looks like he's happy with his run and he's just going to sit in 2nd place, so unless somebody's going to steal that lap here on their last run from JP, it looks like it will be JP sitting in provisional pole here again tonight. And we're going to watch the beginning, the front part of the pack here, I think, at race start tonight. Typically we go to the mid part of the field here, but I think we're going to go watch the race start here tonight and change it up a little bit. And then once our co-host joins us, of course, he can keep his eyes on what's going on and where we're not watching, really. Alright, so Crazy Mitsu here. Looks like he's still on a flying lap here, but where is he on the track is the bigger question. Does he have enough time to finish this lap? I know they don't give a whole lot of time when that timer runs out, so let's just stay on board with Kazimitsu here and see if he can get this lap in. He's just a hair down right now. So definitely able to make some time up here as he finishes off the final part of the racetrack here, and just sorting out where he is here right now. He's going to be coming out into the smaller back straight here, I believe. No, it is the final corner here. Alright, no, it is right. You got the small back straight here, so got about a third of the lap left to go here. Oh, and a little bit of slipstream braking error right there, and that is going to kill that lap there. So you can see him diving into the runoff area there. And we're going to see that potentially even at race start here, of course. It's just a safe spot for cars to go when they make a mistake. Try not to take anybody else out with them type thing. That's why they have these runoff areas here around the racetracks. Indy's you know, an oval racetrack with a nice infield sector built into it for street racing. So yeah, definitely some runoff areas for these drivers in some of these, especially some of these hard braking zones like we just seen right there. And that's always important for safety for the racers, of course. Alright, so it does look like it's going to be JP in pole position, with Rapid Duck sitting in second, Cerebros in third, Kazimitsu in fourth, McCrank in fifth, Vic in sixth, Call Me CJ here in seventh, GLR Racer in eighth, Rock Lee in ninth, Fluka in 10th, Hi My Name is in 11th, Matt Lilo in 12th, Apex Guardian is on a flyer here still. We don't know if he's up or down because we're not in the right screen, so we'll just we'll stick with him here for a second and see if he improves on that. It is going to be Butler Racing in 14th, Tango 2 in 15th, Dautry in 16th, Lamine in 17th, Gearbox in 18th. It's going to be Delta in 19th, and Digda rounding out our top 20. It's going to be Nedward in 21st, Ramen in 22nd, Racing Hobo in 23rd, Irish Jerry here in 24th, Bombastico in 25th, Oreo African in 26th, Sam in 27th, and Mad Max in 28th position. 28 drivers are going to take the field here to start this race tonight. We're going to jump on board with one of our provisional podium starters here, our top 3 drivers, and we're going to stick with the front end of the pack here tonight at race start and watch the action from up front, and then we'll keep an eye on what happens, of course, throughout the field thereafter. Again, at some point we'll be joined by MX Weclome, one of our championship drivers from a couple seasons ago here as well. He will come in and join us here at some point in the booth as well tonight, I believe. So it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night. It's always a good night at Indy. Alright, I got a ping. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, speaking of our defending champion here, he's already jumped into the booth here. Let me get myself all situated here. Alright, so we're gonna wait for the timer to run down, ladies and gentlemen, and then of course we will see a flying formation lap. Lost my train of thought here as I was just turning on some audios. Welcome in, Bloxham. Nice to see you again. Our Summer Series 1 champion here from IRL, so just about, you call it 3 months ago, and Johnny B taking that championship away from him here in this past season. So welcome into the booth, man. And I mean, 28 drivers on the grid here tonight at Indy. I mean, should be a good race. What are your feelings here tonight?
Man, those top 2 look fast. I've been watching the stream here, just kind of checking it out and kind of enjoying not racing tonight, to be honest. It's been such a grind for a long time that I was just kind of ready to chill out for a minute. I'll still be racing some this season, but yeah, I think that battle up front, and man, there's a lot of people really close in that mid-pack to each other. I think it's going to be a great battle tonight.
I agree, and you know, we're seeing some of the newer faces that have come in this season, respectively, again, like you said, right in that mid-pack here tonight. You know, Apex Guardian, Rock Lee, McCrank, you know, all showing incredible pace here at Indy. Typically our mid-pack mid-pack drivers so far this season, but showing a little bit of pace around Indy here. So I mean, that should really change up the way that this race shapes up, I think, if they can maintain that pace here, of course, during racing conditions.
You know, those 2 up front are going to be pretty tough to beat. JP's always been really fast at Indy. You know, Duck's always been really rapid here, hence Rapid Duck. Kind of sad seeing Johnny missing tonight too, but hey, I don't blame him to go to Vegas for the F1 race. I'd miss a race too.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you can't miss an opportunity like that. He was actually hanging out in the stream on, I think it was Friday night while he was at the airport, or Wednesday or something like that, while he was on his way to Vegas to get ready for the F1 races. He was hanging out in the stream with us, so yeah, hope he had fun there. I bet you it was a blast.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I finally watched the race this morning. I didn't stay up late last night to watch it. Just, you know, midnight my time. I was already asleep probably at 10 o'clock, 10:30. So I watched it this morning, and you know, after everything that started in that race early on this week, it just seemed like nothing was going right, but the racing was incredible.
They definitely had their issues. They definitely had their issues pre-race, of course. But you know, these sanctioned racing bodies, they get it together quickly. And I mean, obviously, it provided a great race. I don't watch F1 myself. The community keeps me well in the loop, however. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting one in the city streets of Vegas. That's for sure.
30 seconds.
I think tonight's race is going to be better. Just my opinion. It's, you know, IRL, and IRL puts on great racing. So
absolutely. So
these boys are going to put on a show tonight.
What we're going to see, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're new tuning in, is we're going to see what's called a virtual safety lap. So we're going to see the drivers in order they qualified in, starting with our pole sitter JP, all the way from Rapid Duck right down to the back of our field. They'll lead one at a time via race control communication in their in-car radios, and it'll be a controlled lap, so to speak. They'll have a speed that they need to try and maintain. We'll see them move left to right, speed up aggressively, braking aggressively, things like that. That is, again, to try and build up some air pressure in their racing tires and warm those brake pads up a little bit to get ready for, of course, that green flag drop. So ideally, their car's in a better condition than their opponent and maybe grab a position coming into the first sector of the racetrack. But we all know Indy, turns 1 and 2, it's a very tough place to navigate passing situations, and at race start, that's definitely going to be a difficult spot for these racers. But I think as we get into the race and everybody kind of files into line, I think we're going to see some pretty great battling here throughout the night. It's only an hour-long race, mandatory fuel stop here tonight for these drivers, and I really think we're going to see 60 minutes non-stop action here tonight.
You know, Ghost, another driver I've been watching, and I think he's going to have a great night tonight, is Sebros.
He's been...
He's a good driver.
He's been like the dark horse this series, I like to call it. You know, he came in with just a race, I think, at the end of last season, and has come in this season, and one of the only Porsche drivers in the series here this season as well. So taking a car that's clearly not of the favorites currently right now with the platform, but you know, he just doesn't ever seem to panic no matter what situation he gets put in. He just kind of has, much like some of the other drivers in the series, you know, they just stick to their race strategy, and it always seems to get him back up into that top 10. So sitting in third place here currently, definitely going to be keeping your eyes on some of these drivers that we don't suspect to see challenging for these podium spots here today. I think JP and Rapid Duck are going to be under a little bit of extra pressure, maybe, that they're not thinking about here today. And you can see Rapid Duck and JP here, they're definitely playing with each other a little bit here on this formation lap. They're kind of getting real close to each other. I think it is game on between these two. It should be an interesting race start here today.
Oh, for sure. Those two throw down every time they get together. It's fun to watch, man. They're both very clean. They're both really good drivers. Just it hasn't been quite a while, so we've seen both of them together.
It's definitely going to be interesting. So we're seeing race control now starting to direct these drivers to get into their starting positions 2 by 2. So once we see these drivers navigate down the front straight here, the back straight, whatever you want to call it, to the start finish line here, they got like 3 corners left to go before we're at that point. And JP just trying to get a nice little extra heat in the brake pads right there before he has to commit to his formation. Again, turn 1 and 2 is going to be crucial here. The benefit here at Indy compared to Mount Panorama, however, last week is there is runoff. So if a driver does make a really ultimate big mistake here, there is an opportunity for that driver to get out of the way without destroying somebody innocent in the way. So 2 pretty good race starts here so far this season. Let's see if we can make it 3 for 3 here as we're getting ready to go green, as race control's eyeballing that grid right now. It's a little bit out of formation at the moment, but they'll get it cinched up and it'll be time to go racing. Got to keep it right tight. Don't want that drive-through penalty, and we're green and we're racing. They dropped that flag real early here, and JP gets a good jump, but Rapid is not just going to let him drive away with that. He's going to suck right in, and he's going to force JP to hold his defensive line coming into turn 1 here, and we're going to go 3 abreast here. Looks like, nope, we're going to see the McLaren back off. Yes, Mitsu just backs off here a little bit, and Cerebros is going to lose a position here in that endeavor. They're side by side coming through turn 2, but everybody seems to make it through safe and sound here coming into the beginning of the race, so that's a good sign that we are in for a doozy here today. JP does hold the lead from Rapid Duck, but there's still a good battle between 3rd and 4th between Cerebros and Kazumitsu here right now. Cerebros making a slight mistake, bouncing that porch hard there, and he's just going to have to settle in line here and very early hard. Adrenaline's running. Drivers need to settle in quickly here, and again, with that extra incentive of the $150 PlayStation gift card prize pool for our top 3 this season, it has definitely made the series a lot more competitive, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, everybody wants that money.
Yeah, a little bit of extra bragging rights too. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's always about those bragging rights. I mean, every driver wants to hold number 1 on the door of their car moving into the next series. That's always important. But never hurts to have you know, have your PlayStation membership for the year paid for just racing goods, you know. JP early on here trying to pull a lead on Rapid Duck. I mean, very early on here, it's about 1 second, maybe a hair less at the moment. I don't have live timing up till I switch the camera here, so. Doing a pretty good job early on here, and that's what JP does. If you let the guy get away, it is very, very hard to reel him back in. So Rapid Duck has a big job ahead of him here. He needs to stay within striking distance and of course fend off that huge charging pack coming through the final corner here to get ready to start lap number 2. So looked like a pretty good clean race start here tonight, and it looks like the racers are ready to race at Indy. Alright, let's start going through our field. 5th place here. Call me CJ's just settled in behind all the action happening up front there. That battle between 3rd and 4th place, of course, has settled down between Kazi and Cerebos there. And now the race is on. So the drivers now are trying to pace each other. They're watching each other. They're learning from each other. They're looking for weaknesses. They're looking for areas where they can be opportunistic and make a move. We see a nice little battle there between Fluka and Rock Lee. I think Fluka just grabbed that position there up ahead of Rock Lee. As Rock Lee tucks in behind Fluka there as well for 7th and 8th positions. So some good battling happening here up in the front 8 of the pack. A little bit of separation starting early on. That doesn't surprise us. Here we do again have multiple skill levels of drivers on track. So in a sense, we're kind of multi-class racing here too, which makes it a little bit more interesting. Iris Jerry's in 22nd position here. Long-time driver here at Infinite Racing League. Love seeing him on track. We got Kazimitsu here, new this season, but great pace. Coming from the GLR racing team there too as well. And I mean, you know a little more about some of these teams than I would do, obviously, racing against these guys and hanging out with these guys a lot more. I mean, let's talk about the GLR racing team. I mean, you know, what kind of caliber team are they? And I mean, you know, how large is this team here on the Assetto Corsa platform?
You know, I'm not real familiar with the whole team. I know we've had 4 or 5 of them racing in the league, and they're all really good, clean racers. I mean, every one of them, they're very, very passionate about racing. That's for sure. Really good guys. They're extremely respectful on the track.
Yeah, I mean, you know, on GT7 platform, we know lots about a lot of the different teams that are rolling around the platform here, but of course we're a little green here when it comes to Assetto Corsa too, so it's always nice to get some insight on the long-standing supporters of Infinite Racing League here. And, you know, GLR is not an unfamiliar tag to us as a commentator here over the seasons as well. We GLR Racer and a couple of the other guys there that are season to season always coming back. But Kazimitsu just coming in this season, and wow, it just looks really, really quick out there. Currently sitting in 3rd place. He is closing Rapid Duck down here a little bit too as well. Basically just the tail end of that slipstream range here right now, and doing a great job of pacing our 2nd place driver here. But you know, if he does catch him, I guess he has an important decision to make there. Does he want to battle with Rapid Duck and allow JP to continue to get further traction up the track, or do you just sit in behind Rapid Duck knowing that he's a great driver, he has great pace, and try to work together in a game on JP up ahead? I mean, I think that's the ultimate decision here if Kazi can really get on the back bumper of Rapid here, and I think that's a decision that of course both those drivers will make as it unfolds. But in my opinion, if I were in this position at this early in the race right now, I'd be looking just to settle in behind Rapid Duck and just literally try to stay pace with them, and maybe those 2 cars together just punching that hole a little bit bigger, gaining just a couple miles an hour more, and that might make a difference over the long haul of catching that front leader. I mean, JP already has opened up 2.7 seconds on 4th place, so it's 4.7 second gap between him and Rapid Duck here currently right now. So very quickly trying to get down the road, but he did look strong in practice. But Rapid Duck ended up being first in practice there by the end of it as well, so we know he has to pace in him. We got Lamine here in 17th position. Been here all season, and some of at the end of last season as well, and always showing improvement on the racetrack, getting better and better each race. So We'll see how Lamine does, currently sitting in 17th position. And the one thing I'm seeing so far here early on in the race is not too much scars or war wounds on these cars. A little bit of scratches, a little bit of contact happened, but doesn't look like anything too serious here so far on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, I really think everybody's kind of gotten used to driving around each other at this point. Everybody's a little more patient with everybody, and it is very early in the race. I'm kind of with you. If I was Katsumitsu, I would just stick behind Duck right now and just pace with him, and yeah, see if y'all can work together to catch JP. JP is one of those guys that really gets up to pace really fast at the start of the race. He's a great race starter. So if you don't really stay right there on him at the start, he can get away from you really fast.
Indeed, and I mean we've seen that exactly in the first 2 rounds of the season so far with JP. He broke free cleanly very quickly on early in the race, and then opened up a gap to where I would assume he feels is a comfortable gap for himself at this pace, and then just worked on managing that gap all race long. And at the end of the day, with the struggles of some of the drivers, with lap traffic coming into play, it typically has worked out in his favor here so far this season. But we definitely know there's drivers in this series that can definitely put the pressure on JP. It just hasn't quite run in yet. But long race tonight. We got 52 minutes left. We're only barely 7 minutes into this thing here already. We've seen lots of great battles for positions, and what looks to be going to be a pretty good, fun race for all these racers here on track, and that's what we love to see. So, Racing Hobo currently sitting in 17th position. Again, another long-time standing member here, racing in Infinite Racing League on the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform, whether it was PS4 or now the PS5 edition. And again, another driver that just continues to get more seat time and better with each lap he turns here. And currently sitting in the middle of the pack right now, so having a pretty good race. We got Guardian just in behind him there in 18th position. A new face here this series as well, coming from the GT7 platform to try his luck here on Assetto Corsa against this great driving community as well. Got out to Gearbox, again another returning driver this season. Good battle happening up in front of him right now with Delta and Vic, and I believe Vic just squeezing the position on the inside of the corner up ahead there for 14th position. So lots of battles happening all over the racetrack, and that's what makes the multi-skilled lobbies quite fun too, because there's always somebody to be racing against within the race somewhere. And whether it be a faster driver or a driver your pace or just a slightly slower driver, it always makes it fun and interesting. Learning each driver on the racetrack that you're racing against from week to week. The Crank here started really good. He qualified really well. He qualified up into 5th position there to start the race. Started a little bit slow here, slid down the field down to 12th place, just under Matt Lilo there. And speaking of another driver here that's new this season that has shown pretty incredible pace and resistance in this series has been Matt Lilo here as well. Has shown great pace, and again, not another driver to be counting out here. This car, however, looking a little bit worse for wear so far. A little bit of damage on that race car, nothing too serious it looks like, but don't count this driver out. He, again, another one of those cool, calm, collected guys on the racetrack. He just seems to stick to the plan, and it seems to pay off for him fairly well. So currently sitting in 11th place is Lilo, and McCrank sitting there in 12th place. However, McCrank's car is nice and clean without scratches, so that tells me that he probably has a slightly better performing race car right now than the driver in front in Tango 2 there in 13th position with a little bit of scarring on the front end of that race car as well, so definitely suffering from some ailments of that damage, but it doesn't look like to be affecting his race too much there. They would have gone in and fixed that, of course. So Rock Lee, and right now this is the driver I really got my eyes on here outside of Cerebros as well. Rock Lee coming in, qualifying very well here today on the track, and still strong, sitting in 7th place, still battling quite well here in the top 10 right now. He's just tucked in behind Fluka, who just him and Fluka kind of been battling a little bit back and forth here right since the beginning of the race, and only got about a half second, so about 2 car lengths separating the 2 drivers here as they come to start lap number 6 here, and we should see roughly about 35-40 laps somewhere in there, I think, tonight. Something like that. I can't even do math right now.
36 maybe?
Yeah, it depends on the pit stops, I guess, and how the race unfolds, I suppose, but All right, so we got
the driver you just mentioned, Rockley. Man, I've known that guy a long time. I don't think I'd seen him in quite a while on the track. It's good to see him back out racing with us.
Yeah, well, sometimes as racers like yourself, you you feel a little burnt out. You just need to take a step away sometimes, and then that itch always comes back. It always comes back, yeah. Sometimes it's just to go jump on and just run some laps just to see what the changes the game feel like, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, I kind of missed this, and then welcome back, and you're back into racing. So I do remember seeing this name. I think in the first season that I broadcast for IRL, and a mistake there by Fluke, and that's an opportunity here for Rock to get the job done coming into the back straight here, and he's going to go real tight down there into the corner, and that's going to kind of compromise his exit and leave Fluke back into the battle here. So side by side, Fluke with the position here. Rockley tries to go a little bit deep there, but he's on the outside, so he's got to hold it tough, and he's going to lose that battle there to Fluke for the time being. But here we go. A little mistake made there by Fluke, and Rockley tried to take advantage, but making a slight error going into the defensive part of the racetrack there, and just compromising his exit. But he's going to get slipstream engaged here coming up to the start-finish line, and he is going to... Fluke goes it deep here, and Fluke does a great job at holding that very difficult line coming into turn 1 there, and going into turns 2 and 3, and we're side by side. There's some great racing between these two drivers, and unfortunately for Rockley, they're just eating a little bit of extra curbing there, and he does get up the inside of Fluke, and now it looked like Fluke made a bit of a braking error there and had to kind of let up, and that put him out wide there. It doesn't look like there was any contact between the two there, so very good battle there, and unfortunate for Fluke, but Rockley's going to move up into 6th place. He's got GLR Racer now on his tail here, and another driver that's qualified really well today, showing some great pace in that BMW here on the track as well. So GLR Racer has been showing some pretty big leaps of improvement here from race to race this season compared to previous seasons as well. So again, another one of those GLR team drivers, and definitely showing some pace out here this season.
Oh, for sure. He's been doing great. Fluke has, I think, gotten 3rd in the championship almost like 2 or 3 seasons in a row. Fluke finds his way up to the top.
It's just a matter of when does that driver break out, right? I mean, it's gets a taste of that top of the podium one time. Sometimes it's all it takes for those drivers to really instill that extra bit of confidence they need to drive the car on the edge. I mean, at the end of the day, and I don't think Bloxham will disagree here, I mean, the elite drivers of any sim racing platform, whether it be ACC, whether it be iRacing, Red Factor, GT7, Forza Motorsports, it doesn't matter what sim racing game it is, to what level it's a simulation, quote unquote, is, the elite drivers will always tell you got to learn to be comfortable driving the car on a nice edge all the time, and if you can do that, you will always be at the top of the pace level. So and that's what it comes down to: confidence behind the wheel of the car and trusting that the car is going to do what you're trying to make it do. Ooh, we got Rockley making a mistake here, and oh boy, he gets out into the grass there. He does a great job of keeping it off the track and coming back across, but boy, he's going to lose some positions here waiting to get back on. We got Fluke spun around here as well. Not sure what happened there. Sympathy spin maybe potentially from Fluke there as well, and both drivers definitely losing some time on the track. Rockley dropping all the way down into 14th position here, and Fluke has dropped all the way down into 13th position there, so that was very unfortunate for both those drivers. I don't think it was a car-to-car incident there. I really do think that Fluke has spun and Rockley spun in behind him there, maybe potentially, but we're so busy talking about the elite drivers and kind of how they have that confidence to drive the cars on the edge all the time. We kind of missed the action in front of us, so I'm sure the chat probably has a better idea what happened there, but this is a great battle between these two, Fluke and Rockley, and if these two stay close together all night, I think it's going to be, the sweat's going to be rolling down the brows of both those drivers. Got Rahman in pit lane. He's got some big damage there. Unfortunate to see that, but in pit lane getting that car sorted out there.
I have a feeling they'll both be making a pretty big comeback in this race.
You can never count Fluke out, that's for sure. Fluke has proven time and time again that he's got the pace to fight up at the top end of the field, so just a little setback there for that driver. We'll see how that plays into each driver's strategy as well. with there being a mandatory fuel stop. I suspect that the more experienced racers probably haven't taken a full load of fuel for this race, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Usually if we mandatory pit stop, whether it's tires, fuel, or anything, most of the time I'll fuel up for halfway to the race. Maybe give myself a lap or two more just in case I might need to, depending on track, for an undercut or an overcut on somebody. Like Bathurst, I think the overcut works really well there.
Oh my, and there we go. We were just checking on our race leader there. He had a 9.7 second gap on Rapid Duck and makes a very crucial mistake coming in to set up the final corner there. He goes off track into the grass, and that was going to cost him about 3 or 4 seconds there to Rapid Duck in second place for sure, and Kazi is still right there, right on Rapid's rear bumpers. So what we were talking about a little earlier on in the race there about deciding whether or not they should battle or work together, it does appear to be that Kazi's just settled in behind Rapid Duck there, and that's exactly what they've been doing, is just trying to catch up to JP. So that rare mistake so far this season that we've seen from JP there, going to cost him half that gap that he's worked so hard to build up here, and now that gap is 8.1 seconds here. Right now we got a Lamborghini off the track in front of our race leader there, safely off the track there, and that was Oreo African there, I believe it was. So final gap there after the little mistake is 7.7 seconds, but we did see Rapid Duck and Kazi having a lap traffic car to navigate around coming into turn 1 and 2 there as well, so that may have potentially slowed them up, which is a benefit back to JP after making that mistake. But it definitely looked like he just missed a braking point there and got some understeer in the front end of that Lamborghini, and he had to really slam on the brakes to get that car to come back out of that that lockup he had going on there. So unfortunate, but still in the race lead. We got Digdaw here in 24th place, and Bombastico there in 27th in pit lane, looking like dealing with some damage there as well. And that gave me some flashbacks to last night's race. I was in a league race last night, and with 15 minutes left in the race and a 7-second gap in the lead, I decided to break my concentration for a split second into a difficult corner and hit the grass edge and spun. And thankfully for me, I managed to barely keep the car out of the wall, and really had to fight second and third place off because that 7-second gap closed real quick. So yeah, I had some horrifying flashbacks there for a second watching that from poor JP there, but he got it under control quickly, and that's a much more experienced driver than I am, of course. But Butler Racing here in 23rd, and I was watching him in practice. He just didn't look comfortable with this particular car on this track combo here tonight. And Butler has been racing really strong in that Aston Martin here this season, and just not looking comfortable here tonight. Maybe a little bit of confidence shaken from his Mount P race last week. Of course, like I said, hometown track for this driver for him, and definitely had high expectations, and still finished in the top 10. But the race definitely didn't quite go his way last week, and it just not having a great performance here so far at Indy. But we could just be making an early judgment here. He could be playing a race strategy here that we're just unaware of, so obviously lots of time to tell. But it just seems like that Aston Martin's struggling a little bit here at Indy Motor Speedway today. And I mean, you're a racer, you probably know these cars fairly well. There's clearly obviously stronger cars than others in the game. Is Aston Martin one of these cars that's kind of, you got to really know how to drive it to be strong in it type cars right now? Because we just don't see many on the track lately.
I haven't driven the Aston Martin too much. I know the thing is a rocket ship on the straightaways. It does seem to not quite have the cornering abilities of some of the other cars, but it is extremely fast on the straightaways.
And maybe that's why we're seeing some of the struggles here. Of course, Indy is a fairly high-speed circuit, but it's a technical mid to high-speed circuit, so there is a lot of mid-speed corners involved in the middle part of the infield part of this racetrack. And if that is the case, the car's advantage is straight line speed over cornering, then that obviously could explain why we're seeing a little bit of a struggle, it seems like, anyways, coming from Butler Racing here today.
And you would think, at Indy with that long straightaway and then the back straightaway also, that you would need a car that's got a really great, top speed straightaway. But Indy, you lose more time in the first sector and the third sector than you gain down those straightaways.
And again, just I think that's really due to that mid-speed nature of this racetrack. In the obviously the corner, we do have Choco up in the booth here with us too as well. Here, our co-host. Welcome in, Choco. How you doing, my guy?
Man, I am doing good, man. My bad, man. I got stuck in traffic. I had to get, I got to get a little session in. But now I'm back in the booth with y'all. What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing today? We got a good one today. What's going on?
Yeah. We're just talking. It's been an interesting race. We've seen a lot of faces qualifying in the top half of this field that we don't normally see in the top half of the field here. So Indy, obviously a fan favorite for some of these drivers for sure. But JP doing JP things out there right now. Made a rare mistake there just a little bit ago, but he's still managing that gap pretty good on Rapid Duck currently. But he definitely doesn't want to make too many more mistakes like that here tonight.
Yeah, see.
Ghost, the big thing with JP, and it just shows he made that small mistake. That's an elite driver. He's not going to let that, bother him too much. A lot of people will let those kind of mistakes really burn in their mind during the race, and the elite drivers are really good at blocking that out and getting back in their groove.
That's true. They debrief that. They decompress, as I like to call it, at the end of the race and go through those moments in their mind, right? And then just, a little bit of a mistake there by Apex Guardian in 14th position. And that allows Nacho Gearbox to start to get a run here. And, this is one of those drivers we were just talking about, new to the series and having a pretty strong running here this week, sitting in the mid-pack right now. Hasn't had such a great season start, but definitely looks comfortable here at Indy.
Man, it looks like there's definitely a battle going on here for 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Real close, neck and neck, between Tango, Fluka, Apex, Guardian, and Nacho. It's pretty close, bumper to bumper.
And
it looks like mostly everybody has not even done their requirement yet, but yeah, it looks like we got a juicy one tonight. Yeah,
it's been pretty good racing. There's been lots of good little battles happening on the racetrack. The passes have been pretty clean and efficient from what we've seen so far, and we haven't seen... Oh, so as I was going to say, a big wrecks on the track. We got a Lexus off the racetrack there in the sector, but again, in a safer location there. Should be okay for the cars that are at race speed to navigate around. And it seems like when the guys have made the mistake here today, the cars have ended up in safe spots where it's not affecting the pack. I think that's made a really large difference in everybody just having a good clean run here tonight and just being able to give it the best thing they got. We see some side damage on Guardian's car here, so a little bit of rubbing has been happening here, but that's to be expected at Indy again with the nature of the racetrack here, just the speed of the corners and well, it's Indy. Everybody wants to kiss the bricks,
It looks like Vic is having a good run tonight too in the 54 Ferrari. He's currently running 9th right now behind, in front of Vic Daugherty there.
Yeah, and he had a good run at Mount P last week too, and unfortunately for him there, like I said, in about the 60% mark of the race there, he just got collected up coming down the mountain by a car stricken there, and he just got caught up in that right front quarter panel there and had to go fix that damage up, and that was unfortunate for him there. So looking strong here tonight, getting some clean air, and the drivers were definitely ready for this race. You could tell they were prepared. A great race start here tonight from these drivers, and like I said, it doesn't seem like anything too major as far as car-to-car contact goes here so far tonight. Obviously a little bit of rubbing to race, and the cars show the signs of that, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Talk about unfortunate last week. How about Fluka? Fluka had a bad one last week at the end there.
Well, he's been one of the drivers who's battling the hardest here so far this week. Him and who was it that he was battling with there? I can't even remember now.
Yeah, I forgot. That was it wasn't Johnny. Was it Johnny?
Right, Rock
No,
Lee.
it wasn't Johnny.
No, it was Rock Lee,
Rock
right?
Lee, that's what it was.
Having that race-long battle there, and unfortunately for both of them spitting out there. I'm not sure if it was if it was a car contact or if one just spun out in sympathy for the other there, though. But Fluka, he's been battling hard this race. I mean, he's in the thick of it here again with Tango 2 right now, trying to grab P11 on Tango here, but Tango ain't having none of it. He's parking that car on the apex.
Bumper to bumper, man. Definitely. That's a definitely juicy battle there. I mean, one little mistake. If Tango has one mistake, you damn well know if Fluka's going to capitalize, man. But this is bumper to bumper, man.
This is great racing. Oh, there we go. A nice little move there. Trying to take a look on the outside. There was Guardian on Fluka, but he just couldn't hold the line coming into tow to turn 1 into turn 2 there. And that's a difficult line to hold. Very difficult line to hold here at Indy. You're coming into a hard braking zone.
The question is, Blocks, what do you do here? Let's say you're running You're Fluker right now. You're currently running behind Tango. Do you pit stop with one requirement left, 34 minutes left? Do you pit stop when Tango pit stops, or do you pit stop on your own strategy?
I think undercutting. This track has a huge undercut. Tires are pretty. They're extremely important at this track. It's a high deg track on tires, so I think he undercuts him, and I think he can get around him that way. Fluka at this point, I think, just needs to be really patient and calm with his moves, and he'll get himself back up there into that, those top spots.
Yeah, we know Fluka can get aggressive when he definitely needs to. Sometimes over aggressive, and overdoing it sometimes. But at this point in the game, 33 minutes left. What do you think, Ghost? You think Fluka needs to make a move at some point, or does he need to just go ahead and be patient and wait for Tango to make his move to the pit entry and just follow that strategy behind him, so that way he don't lose much ground?
I mean, if I'm in Fluka's position here right now, I mean, I'm sitting top 10. Half the race is almost gone here. It's been an eventful race here so far. He's essentially on a recovery drive right now, based off, how the race has started for him. He's looking to grab probably 3 or 4 more positions at least to feel a little bit better about how the day's going to finish up here for him. But, Tango obviously has some decent pace here in front of him. And, I mean, Guardian's not really applying any immediate pressure. The driver in behind Guardian, Nacho's they're all playing nice right now. And I really do think you're kind of on it there. I think they're just waiting for the one in front to make the mistake so they can be opportunistic at this point. I don't think any one of these drivers is really looking to make the big dive into a corner to gain the position and maybe potentially ruin their race car. I think
requirement, by the way?
It's a fuel, mandatory fuel. So
okay.
So I think depending on the strategy, I mean, if this were me, I'd probably be sitting on about 2/3 of my fuel load to start the race, and I'd probably be looking to pit about the midway point of the race. I mean, if I feel like if Tango's maybe just slightly off pace of what I think my pace should be, I'd be looking at the undercut like Bloxham said. I'd be looking to try and get my car into some clean air when I get out of pit on those fresh tires, and hopefully make that time up on the fresh lap, not in behind the car. But it's hard to say. I guess it depends on the strategy that Fluke is sitting on right now. And that you touch base on sometimes the over-aggressive part of the driving is it looks like we see a mistake from the gearbox. Looks like he had to gather himself up there, but still right there. He manages to keep the car out of trouble. Sometimes I think it's a nice little pass right there by Apex Guardian on the inside of Fluke. He left the door open there, and Guardian just absolutely ran through the door there. That was a great little move right there, as Guardian's going to grab that spot up on Fluke. And I think now, if this was me, I'd be looking to pit. I think I'm looking to pit, get out of this battle, get in some clean air, and put my head down, knowing that I have pace around the racetrack. I think at that point now, the battling starting, that's going to cost you time. Now is the time I'm really thinking about making a pit stop, just trying to get my car into some clean racing air. That was a great move right there by Guardian. That was a very bold move right there. So confident move from Guardian there.
How about his Barrows now back up to second in the Porsche, man? Is he the only Porsche tonight in the field? Or?
He is. We were touching base. Bloxham calls him here tonight to be watching out for that driver here tonight. So,
you know what, gentlemen? We need to start picking our driver of the. You know how we used to have our picks before the race, and then we'll see how we finish at the end of each race and season. That was a pretty good, almost kind of like a fantasy pick, I guess we were having. Pick the driver that you think is going to be the one guy and see how it goes. Sometimes pick the underdog, and you never know. But right now, man, that's good.
That sounds like fun.
I think you're onto something there. I think we need to go back to a driver of the day, a driver of the series. Heck yeah, we could even start having a channel to pick who's gonna win and stuff. Almost like a little fantasy ACC thing.
Absolutely, man. Just for some league news update, we definitely we're definitely growing. As you can see, we're definitely filling these grids up now. We're actually missing a lot of few drivers here, including yourself, Blocks. We're definitely missing Johnny, who's down at the F1 race, or was down at the F1 race, and a couple more other drivers, so top dog drivers as well. So we're missing like at least 6 drivers right tonight. So we're definitely filling up these grids, and now that we wrapped up our Euro Series, we're looking at also filling up that grid now for our Euro Series. We wait for the announcement to be made by the head race coordinators there. We've broken down the league down into divisions now. So we have our American division now and our Euro division. Our Euro division is running on Saturday, same time and dates, doesn't change. We're just pretty much I've broken it down into divisions. Now that we're growing, we need to have each division run accordingly within their own admin team. So we're definitely growing, and we have it broken down into admin teams. We're always looking for new drivers, beginners, experience, doesn't matter. But we definitely have a lot of things on the line for this season here. So these guys are definitely competing, and definitely worth competing for, I would say, this season. We have 3 overall prizes to be awarded this year, with the first prize overall champion getting the $75 PSN card. And then we have the second place getting a $50 PSN card. And the third place will receive a $25 PSN digital card. So these guys have something to compete for this season. As you can see, these grids are staying active and consistent. And these drivers are definitely coming to the grid and showing up each and every week. So
I feel like we're missing J. Oh, there he is. I was gonna say I couldn't find JP in our drivers list here, and as I'm looking up, I only see 27 of our 28 drivers on the track. I thought something might have happened to our championship points leader coming in round 3 here, but he's made his pit stop here, and he's just currently moving up into 14th position as another driver's made a pit stop in front of him here. So JP pitting right at about that halfway point here of the race. He was obviously our race leader here for the first half of the race, but now we'll have to wait, of course, for the pit stop sequence to filter all the way through to kind of really ultimately see where everybody's going to end up, and JP going for his race strategy and undercutting the rest of that leading pack. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for him. He is kind of in the middle of the pack here right now, but no immediate battles or anything happening, so in a sense he's still got some clean air. And he actually has the race leader, Cerebos, just up in front of him here.
Well, you know, one guy that I'm looking forward to see how he's going to close this out is currently in 8th place. Call me CJ. He's cleared the pit stop strategy here, and he's running. Now all he got to do is take it home here with 27 minutes left, a little under 28 minutes left in the race. He's down up to 6th now, so he's now running a 138.4. So looks like he's going to be running consistent laps here. If he just stays consistent, man, he can close this out pretty well here. He's now up to 5th now. So we'll see how CJ ends here the rest of the way here.
Well, I mean, we were seeing 36s from the top times here from JP, from Rapid Duck, from those guys here. So to see, you know, 38 low and high 37, mid 37 pace coming from this driver definitely says he's on pace here to definitely try and make a push. He's got Kazi, a little bit of a spike there in the lobby. But he's got Kazi in 6th place right in behind him there too as well after clearing his pit stop. So I'm not sure what happened to JP there, but he is definitely fallen back into the grid here compared to the drivers that were chasing him and that pit stop sequence. So wondering not if JP got into a little bit of trouble there that we missed, and maybe had some damage on his race car he had to sort to in pit lane that cost him some time here. But he is definitely, seems like he's on the back tire here now and having to chase these guys down that were chasing him down in the first half of the race here.
You know, speaking on CJ, he's another driver that took a break for a little while, and man, he's come back with some incredible pace. I really think there's something to, you know, taking a little break sometimes away from it. It kind of gets rid of some bad habits also that you might develop, and then you come back refreshed and, man, you're ready to go.
You know, that's a good call. That's a good call. You know, I took a break a little while back too from not only streaming but everything, the racetrack and just everything that was going on around me in the virtual world. And you know, a couple solid weeks I stayed away from everything and came back, and you know, I felt rejuvenated. It's exciting to stream again. The commentary is back on point. I definitely felt like the commentary was definitely paying a little bit of price for you know, that lack of enjoyment, I guess, so for a lack of a better way to word it at the moment. But you know, when I came back, that fire came back for the commentary, but you know, my craft and my pace has actually improved on the racetrack. Now obviously I race a slightly different sim, but it's still the same difference, and it's a good call by Bloxham there, because he's not wrong. I mean, you know, I feel so much better now on the racetrack than I did before I took that break, and I'm not as flustered and as worried when things unfold on the racetrack. You know, it is what it is. It just happened. You can't reverse it. You can't change it. You just gotta drive through it at that point. So, and we're seeing a lot of adversity from a lot of the drivers here, especially the returning drivers in the series over the seasons. And you know, Call Me CJ has always had great pace in the series, but it is just, you know, completing that start to finish flag it has been his struggles here. So looking good here tonight for sure, in my opinion. And stop and go penalty there for Apex Guardian number 614 there, speeding in pit lane. So that is unfortunately a costly penalty there and just cleared.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Ouch.
That's gonna hurt, especially with 24 minutes left.
Talking on taking a break, that's kind of why you're not seeing me every weekend right now. Those past 3 seasons kind of really took a toll, you know, battling for those championships and being on that knife's edge every weekend. And I kind of started to feel like I was losing that edge a little bit and needed to kind of tone it back just a little bit so I can come back super strong.
Absolutely, and you definitely did, especially being one of our team drivers. That also takes a toll on you, so you also got to be prepared for those as well. So stamina plays a big part in our team driving, because you guys mostly compete for endurance racing. So that's definitely a big challenge in itself. So back here, 4th place between Call Me CJ and GLR, Kazimitsu. Those guys are, I mean, he is on his bumper right now. So one mistake from CJ. And this is a battle for 4th here.
We are trying to get to that battle here, chat. The production crew's just slacking. There we go.
Absolutely. looks like GLR is trying to make the move on the inside, showing making his presence known on the side mirror there to CJ. CJ's playing that good defense right now, so we're definitely gonna have a battle here, at least for the next 23 minutes here, because all these guys got to do, they clear their pit stop requirements. All they got to do is bring it home. So again, we're going to see how CJ handles the pressure and how he defends this and how GLR responds to the defending here.
And Kazi's had good pace all race long, qualified fourth place on the grid. Got a very quick position on Cerebos at the very early into turn 1 there. And it was sitting in 3rd place pretty much the whole first stint there. He was just tucked right in behind Rapid Duck while those two tried to chase JP down. And JP, I mean, on the back foot like right now. So this is an opportunity for some of these drivers up front right now to gain some points on JP here as well. Because, like I said, we're not sure what happened to him here during just before his pit stop sequence there. But definitely falling through the pack here a little bit.
Well, guys, thanks for having me on tonight, and it's been a massive enjoyment. Y'all see me back on track next week. I'm gonna jump off and go enjoy y'all's commentary and the end of this race, guys.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you as always, MX Bloxham, and well, good luck next week.
Hey, brother, man, you have a good night, man, and we'll see you on the grid next week.
You too, guys. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, brother.
MX Bloxham, ladies and gentlemen, again, Summer Series 1 champion here, taking that 2-time championship away from Johnny B, and then Johnny B getting that championship back in the Summer Series 2. So Johnny B is defending champion coming into our Fall Series here, but JP is our current championship points leader coming into round 3, looking to take that title away. But having something happen here tonight for JP, and we did see a mistake from JP earlier, so maybe just another one of those understeer moments we've seen, like we saw earlier from JP, and maybe it got him into a little bit more trouble than the first one did. But I'm sure that he'll push forward and just continue to get as much on the racetrack as he can. We got a great battle happening just up in front of Racing Hobo there, and I think it was Cerebros actually going around Sam's with blue flag car. I don't think it was a battle at all, actually. But Cerebros still has to make that pit stop here, and in first place, when you know that the field is pitting behind you, you're hurting yourself going lap by lap by lap, probably knowing that those drivers in behind have grabbed some fresh rubber. At some point, you got to cut your losses. You got to just get in the pit lane and give yourself time on the racetrack to make up positions in case you fall back further than you expected on that pit lane. If I were a Porsche driver right now, I would really be considering about pitting here as soon as possible, because you come out of pit lane with about 18 minutes left in the race. That is plenty of time to get those nice fresh rubber tires scrubbed in and really send a few flying laps at the end to try and make up track position that you may have lost. But the longer he continues to stay out against these fresh tire runners, the more and more he's just going to continue to hurt his chances getting on the podium here at the end of the race. So be interesting to see how that works out for him.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like also like GLR Kazimitsu's patience paid off. Enough of that slipstream, and he was able to capitalize and make a move on the inside on Call Me CJ and take that 3rd position from him. So now he has slightly under. We have another stop and go. The stop and go is now clear for car 614. But good patience on Kazimitsu's part. Patient, very patient behind CJ. CJ had a good defense going,
Where
good
is
car,
he?
but again, he can only defend until you cannot defend it any longer. Kazimitsu made the move on the inside, and now he's in third and looking comfortable right now and looking consistent after this.
All right, so we have JP here. We were just looking to see where our points leader is currently sitting here in the race with 20 minutes left. He was just sitting in 8th place, just made a move around GLR Racer to take 7th place here. And now the gap to the next positional car is McCrank and the McLaren, and it is 4-second gap. So if we remember last week, our 90-minute race at Mount Panorama, we seen Johnny B get a drive-through penalty early on in the race. We've seen him pick up some unnecessary damage in the middle of the race, and we watched a 25-minute comeback from that driver to put himself back on the podium. That was insane. Are we going to see this again in week 3 from JP?
We might be even faster. He went and got some of that F1 octane fuel up his veins, so he'll probably gonna come back even faster, man. Johnny's down in Vegas, so I'm hoping that brother enjoyed himself. And I know he's watching the stream right now, Johnny. So big up to Johnny right now. Big shout out to Johnny B, banging down in Vegas in the F1. He's probably on his way back, but big shout out to him. But man, yeah, he's probably gonna be faster, man. That was some insane, monstrous stuff he did there last week, man, especially at the mountain, brother. How do you do that at the mountain, man?
With 33 cars, I don't know. This is stuff dreams are made of. I mean, that's the type of racers. I'm sure that racers like Johnny B and Bloxham and JP and Rapid Duck and all these elite racers here in the series, those are races dreams are made of.
Look at here. That boy is something else, man. Look at here. I'm telling you, man, to do something like that, man. That boy hit his Wheaties, man.
We have a positional change in 5th and 6th place between McCrank and Hi My Name Is as well. So 2 McLarens battling out in front of JP here. Now I was just kind of keeping my eye on the live timing, and I mean, he was not really gaining on those guys. But now that little battle happened, I mean, he shed a second off right immediately through those last 2 quarters. But JP is pushing this car.
He is coming, dude.
He is pushing this car past the curbing. He's dipping tires into the grass. I mean, JP is in full send mode right now. So here we go again, chat. Are we going to see an incredible comeback drive here from one of our elite drivers here coming from Infinite Racing League? It's going to be exciting to see. 2.7 seconds to gap to Hi My Name Is What, and it's another second to McCrank from there. So you can see the cars around the corner, and like a shark with seeing a fish blood in water, man, he is in attack mode right now, 100%.
Absolutely, man. I want to give also a big shout out to car number 59, Racing Hobo in the McLaren. This driver's been sticking with us every day on the grid, man. He's pushing, and he's currently running 17th out of 20. What was the grid started at 27th?
28
cars.
28 car grid tonight, you betcha.
28 car grid tonight. Again, we were missing some drivers that couldn't make it tonight, but 28 car grid is still a good grid tonight, and he's currently running 17th. So big shout out to Racing Hobo for sticking it out. One of our newest drivers. He's been here a couple months.
He's been here a couple seasons now. Yeah, I think this is his 3rd season here now.
Yeah, so he's been with us a couple seasons here, and getting more.
We got some great battles happening on this racetrack right now, chat. We got a great battle here for 11th and 10th, 11th, and 12th place between Rock Lee, Tango 2, and Butler Racing. And you know, it was funny, me and Bloxham were talking about Butler Racing and how it looked like that Aston was really struggling here at Indy. But again, early speculation. I stuck my own foot in my mouth there, because here he is, Butler Racing, almost back up into the top 10. So just playing a little bit of racing strategy, I think Butler Racing was early on in the race there.
Yes, sir, man. This is the meanest Aussie on the grid, man. This guy's gonna bring it to you, man. He's gonna defend it when he needs to, and he's gonna play offense when he has to.
Well, he's definitely attacking Tango 2 here right now. You can really see him, bobbing left and right, trying to get some clean air into that racing car to get the best corner he can to close that gap up to that Ferrari up in front of him. He's going to take a huge exit here coming onto the front straight, and that's really going to pull him into that Ferrari here, tucked right deep into that slipstream.
Right inside, man. Nice, and he's going to make a move on the inside on Tango here now.
Like Bloxham said, that straight line speed in that car, a little rocket ship. But now he's got to fight him off. That Ferrari has one advantage here, and it is cornering. The Aston goes a little bit deep going into turn one there, and the Ferrari using the bailout room there, and that's why it's there, ladies and gentlemen, to allow these route drivers a little bit extra room side by side through that very tough corner. And Bullet Racing is going to get that position here, and Tango 2 is going to settle down into 12th place here. He's got Matt Lelo now starting to chase him down in behind here as well.
Absolutely, and like I said, these guys are on crunch time right now. We're under the 15-minute mark, and I'm telling you, Ghost, right now, these guys are focused, lasered in, and all they're seeing is the car in front of them and what they got to do to get that, and apply the pressure. Tango goes off a little bit, which increases the gap. Be surprised, those little off track, that's big. That's a big deal, man. Taking those, you take 2 tires off the little bit on the grass, you see any dust flying off, that's law. You're losing things there. You're losing time there. That's a big deal when the race is this close and you're pushing. You want to push it all on the grid, but in that little grass, man, that'll definitely take time off of you. Now you see here, Butler has definitely increased the gap there to 1.3 tenths of a second. But Gilo is definitely coming, man. He is pushing as well, and chasing Tango at this moment.
Absolutely.
So now,
we're just sitting on board
now
with...
the tires. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think the tires are now pretty much a doozy at this point?
I mean, the drivers have made their pit stops. The drivers that have been conservative on their tires probably have some grip left to push right now. And I mean, we're seeing that right now between 9th and 10th place. I was just monitoring here. We have Daughtry here in 9th place. He's got a big gap between him and the next car in front of him. But what I was watching here is Rock Lee in 10th place now. And the drivers had incredible pace. He had incredible pace of qualifying. He's been fighting hard here all race long. Him and Fluka both having, I believe, self-induced spins early on in the race, dropping back to the mid-pack now and starting to fight their way back up the top 10. And Rock Lee, it seems like that's exactly what he's done here. He kind of spent a little time conserving his race car in this last half of the stint. He's really trying to put the pressure on Daughtry here now. The gap was coming down, but Daughtry, of course, doing a great job at starting to open the gap back up. But can definitely see Rock Lee in behind him there. So with 12 and a half minutes remaining or so here in the race, I mean, there is lots of time for battles and positions to definitely change here on the racetrack. So we have Fluka in the lead of this race. He still owes a pit stop. So Aris Cerebros, who Bloxham really said to watch out for here tonight and called this driver right at the beginning of the broadcast here tonight. He said watch out for that Porsche driver, is currently sitting in 2nd place after his pit stop. So he did everything he needed to do there, managing the gap of that race. So for Fluka right now, he's in the same position that the Porsche driver was in just a few minutes ago. I was talking, saying, how long are you hurting yourself now on old racing tires compared to these guys on these fresh rubber? And the Porsche driver has himself with a 4.3 second gap to Kazimitsu in behind, and potentially the best position for a race win here right now with just under 12 minutes remaining.
Absolutely, like I said, it's crunch time, and now it's pushing and pushing the car to the limits at this point, keeping the track limits in mind. But like you said, this is going to be it, and these guys have to be focused here. GLR Racer sitting pretty in 8th place right now between the BMW. He has coming car number 14 in the BMW. So he's looking pretty here, and Butler's definitely pushing the Aston Martin here as he's chasing Rock Lee with 2.5 second gap. So he's definitely catching up on Rock Lee there. He definitely has him in sights, and looks like he's definitely chasing at this point. I mean, 11 minutes left in the race. There's plenty of time left. Here you got a couple laps here left in this race.
So we do have Call Me CJ sitting in 4th place here. He's just coming up on a blue flag car here right now. That blue flag car doing the right thing there, just letting up on the throttle, coming into the braking zone, allowing lead lap car to go through. So that was a great job, and a perfect example of what a blue flag car should do in that situation. So very well executed there by the two drivers, but sitting pretty comfortable here. I mean, he's got JP chasing him, and JP's the next driver chasing, but I mean, that gap is large. I mean, we're talking 12 and a half seconds with 10 and a half minutes left in the race. JP has quite the feat ahead of him here if he wants to grab any more positions here tonight. So Call Me CJ's looking like he's in a pretty good spot to lock down a 4th place here. He's 12 seconds in behind podium right now, and unless something drastic happens there on those front 3 drivers, podium might just be out of reach. But keeping in mind, Fluka owes a pit stop here, and potentially that bottom step is there depending on how long that pit stop takes for Fluka here. And I'm not sure what that pit stop delta is here at Indy, but it could be close. It could be close.
I think today's a fixed fuel of 25 seconds, I believe it was. I could be wrong. I didn't take a last look at the
It wasn't.
check-in.
It just says fuel mandatory, so I was just
Okay.
kind of guessing. Might have a
Okay,
new winner
definitely.
tonight. We might have a new winner
We
tonight.
might
Yes,
have one,
sir.
baby boy. It's a whole nother podium interview this evening. That's what makes it exciting, though. That's what makes this championship exciting, because these guys have something worth competing for here, something on the line, and something they're chasing. We got what? There's 6 more weeks to go. 5 more weeks to go.
Oh yeah, we got
in the
great.
championship.
We got a great month and a bit yet of racing to take us right
Oh,
into the new
yes.
year here.
Definitely. Looks like you and I will be in the booth for the whole championship here. I'm enjoying being in the booth for this series here. I did want to be in the grid, but I'm definitely enjoying the booth. It's been a while since I've been up here with you, brother, man,
It's
and,
nice
and
having
I'm
you.
enjoying it.
And you know, we may have to drag you over to GT7 for a couple of rips too. You know.
You know what? I might take you up on that offer. Give me a little 6-pack of Modelos and call it a night, man, and just jump on the booth with you and definitely learn that grid over there.
Very interesting, very different. You know, Johnny B was watching the stream earlier in the week. We are just doing some open lobby racing with the community. Johnny B was checking it out there as he was on his way to Vegas to watch the F1 race there, and then the first thing he said is it looks very, very different to the ACC platform. It is quite a bit different for sure. Some very visually stimulating game, but ACC's done an incredible job of doing the same thing here on this PS5 version. It looks incredible compared to that PS4 edition. So.
Oh, absolutely. Even the cars handle better, as you know as well. Making that jump from PS4 to PS5, when I first made that jump, man, it just everything fell. From the physics on to the loading, everything just felt amazingly better. And the cars just never drove the same. And we just immediately stopped the PS4 series, because I think everybody pretty much upgraded at the same time or close to it. And now we strictly run the PS5, man. But that was definitely a big change.
And there's that select group out there that, you know, cost-wise, obviously, you know, is always an issue with these new generation consoles. They're always so expensive. But I mean, if you're sitting on the fence and you're tossing up the idea of whether or not you should upgrade your console, if ACC PS5 is not enough incentive for you to upgrade your console, I don't know what is. I really don't know what is. 30 car plus grids, great commentary, great racing action. I mean, come on. That should be incentive enough right there.
Absolutely. Now we still have something in the works that we're discussing between ACC and GT7. So that's ladies and gentlemen, that's still up in the works. So
absolutely,
up in
that definitely that discussion phase there for sure. It's definitely there. It's definitely it's brewing. Definitely brewing.
Definitely, that's definitely going to be worth a broadcast between both different platforms. I do have my GT7 loaded up, and I have been getting on the track over there at GT7 just in case I want to partake. But more than likely, I'll probably join you in the booth just because I want to get to know the GT7 side of the family over there, the grid. So that'll make commentating that much better.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it was a 12.5 second gap from JP to call me CJ. JP's put in the fastest lap of the race here, wow, 136.1, which is about what we've seen in practice from this driver, so he's right on par with what he had going on in the practice session. But you know, that 12.5 second gap has
cut that down.
has come down to 7 seconds here in the last 4 minutes of the race. So
there's 6 minutes left, so he cut that. So he
and
has
I mean
4 minutes.
He's pushing. I mean, he went through the grass coming out of the final corner to get onto that front straightaway. I mean, he is rifling. We just seen Fluka come into pit lane, so that is now 4th place for JP. So now, if there is any incentive for this driver, it is the podium is 6.6 seconds up the road, and he has 6 minutes of racing remaining. Can he do it? He is pushing. He is taking that Lamborghini to the ultimate limits right now. You can tell in the attitude of this car.
As Barrels goes off track, but he remains control of the car, but definitely lost some delta time there as he is approaching the back marker there. Delta Mike allows the passage. So looks like Kazumitsu is now chasing his Barrels. It's only under 2 second gap. So
and here we go. Fluka coming out right in the middle of some blue flag traffic there to the pit stop, and the Fluka is going to come out in 8th place here after that pit stop. So that long pit strategy not really working out probably as intended here for Fluka, but it's been a tough race here for this driver today. Still holding out in the top 10.
Absolutely, and like I said, if Luca's gonna give it everything he's got in and out, and sometimes the strategy doesn't work the way you intended it to. But again, you learn from the track. You know, next time when you go to Indy, the strategy for the same race is not gonna be the same strategy as last time. At least you hope not, especially with the size grid we have here and the quality of grid we're getting every week. These are good drivers, and they have the strategies down as well. So the mistake is minimal that you can have here in this championship. There's a lot on the line right now for these drivers, so they take it seriously. They put in the work, they put in the time, because there's things on there's something on the line with competing for. So these guys are gonna bring it. So the strategies may not work out the same. So, but yeah. Oh, looks like we have a car, but that's Delta Mike. Oh, hopefully he doesn't interfere. The cars there, so definitely, thankfully, did not cause anything there between us Barrels and Kazumitsu, because that definitely would have been it's
There we go.
unavoidable, unintentional. Nothing you can do. That's racing, but thankfully it didn't happen, so we can close this out on a good battle here. So thankfully
So for the first time this season, ladies and gentlemen, we may have a battle for the win right down to the checkered flag here with just over 3.5 minutes remaining here. We got Cerebos and Kazimitsu basically nose to tail. Car link separating the two of these. Lap traffic is factoring in, and here we go.
This is juicy.
Here we go.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, under the 3 minute, we had 3 minutes and 27 seconds. This is something we do not want to miss. Do not get up. Hold your breath, as this battle here is going to be juicy and tight. Looks like Kazimitsu there is catching that slipstream, going to try to make his move here on the inside from Asberos. Asberos sees it on the side mirror there, showing the inside there. Asberos moves to the outside there.
And he's not gonna take the move there. He was just playing a little bit of what we like to call mind games here from drivers. That's what they do. They make it look like they're gonna dive in, get you to open up the hole, and get you on the exit. But unfortunately for Kazimitsu, he didn't capitalize there. I think he wanted to go for the move there, and maybe just realized he just wasn't in the right position for that, or maybe he's gonna wait for the next lap to make that move. Maybe he figured it was a little too early to try to attempt that, and maybe he's just gonna try and reset that up for the next lap. I don't know what was going on there, but he definitely made the intention to look like he was gonna go there. And for some reason decided to back out. Here we go. He's going to look up the inside. Here we go. Oh, and again he backs out. So again,
plays it safe. I mean, we have 2 minute mark here, but definitely as Barrels is playing that defense mode right now. He is definitely on hard defense mode, but also being on the offensive at the same time, but definitely holding that with defensively here. So now this is where your defensive skills come in play here with the 2 minute. We're at the 2 minute warning right now. So. This is where your defensive skills come in play. These are two top dogs going at it. So we'll see how this is going to pan out. So we have how many more laps? Maybe 1, 2 more laps. This one, 1 more?
We may. It depends when they come across the start-finish line. I mean, we're just coming to the start-finish line here right now. This will be final lap here as these two come around with 1:30 left on the clock. So here we go. White flag, ladies and gentlemen. And we got a very heated battle here for the lead. So here we go.
Hold on to it, ladies and gentlemen, because here we go. Do not blink, do not get up, because you're gonna miss it here. This is any one mistake from any of these two, especially number 21. You cannot make a mistake here. He's on full defensive mode, but Kazimitsu is letting them know, baby boy, you make one mistake, it's a wrap. Because I'm on you. I can see that 2-1 on your bumper, and I'm coming.
Ooh, big time there. He's pushing hard here. He looks for the big exit there, and this is battle on. Kazi's looking for the way around here. Oh, and he makes a mistake.
Oh, he goes off. So makes a mistake. Allows Barrels to get more relaxed and more comfortable here as he finishes there. But now, how does Kazimitsu respond to this here? We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on to your seatbelts. This is not over until the finish line is crossed here.
Absolutely. I mean, he's still there. A couple seconds in behind. I mean, anything can still happen here. I mean, we've seen it time and time again here from Infinite Racing League, haven't we, chat? We see some pretty crazy race finishes. So let's see what we got here. Cerebro, so, I mean, confident, cool, collected driver here, and he didn't buckle at all there with all that pressure from Kazi. I mean, he just put that car on the apex and went, you know what? Good luck. Try and find your way around.
Lap. One more. Is this one more lap? No.
Back straight. Yeah.
Yep. This is it, man. Now, Kazimitsu, that was a good battle. Looks like he might have overpushed the car himself a little bit, put the car where it did not want to be, and might have caused the car to slip out of the legal.
So there we go. MX Bloxham called it at the beginning of the broadcast. Said look out for number 21 driver here tonight, and a race win here for Cerebos. A very close second place finisher from Kazimitsu. That was some racing right there. That was some racing right there.
Jesus, like I said, it was one mistake.
Oh, we're side by side for third place here with JP and Colby CJ. JP has it edged out. JP's gonna get third place at the end of the day. He steals that final podium position away from Colby CJ. Absolute drive. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Good timing to go back to the garage and take a look at where our third place driver was. Let me tell you what. Great drag race to the line. We did catch it. You betcha. Colby CJ in fourth place there. Oh, heartbreaker for Colby CJ. McCrank. We caught it. We caught it, brother.
Oh my God, I want to see this on replay.
McCrank with his best finish of the season here, coming in fifth place. So there we go. Some of those newer faces here this season coming in strong here in Indy as well. We got Hi My Name Is in sixth place. Another strong finish for him this season. It's two pretty quality race finishes. Watch out for this driver this season. GLR Racer again. Another top 10 here in 7th place. Fluka battling hard, 8th place finish. Rock Lee with the best finish, I think, of his season with a 9th place. Daughtry coming in here with a 10th place finish, and Rock Lee managed to get the position here on Daughtry right at the end of that race as well. Butler Racing coming in, 11th place finish, just missing out in the top 10 there. Tango 2 with a solid 12th place finish, potentially his best race finish here this season as well. Nacho Gearbox in 13th. We got Matt Lilo just coming across there in 14th position. And we'll go back to the garage again because that's what the game makes us do.
Right, and again, let's have a big shout out to our podium. In first place, we got his barrels in the 21 Porsche car. Great battle between him and Kazimitsu, who came in second in the McLaren 6.6 car. And JP with a heck of a comeback, man. And it looks like you caught that on film, but it looks like it was the last minute he wanted by the wire. JP does. JP again on podium in third place in the Porsche, in the Lambo 15 car, man. I can't wait to catch that on film. And then we have Call Me CJ on fourth, and rounding up the top 5 is McCrank.
Absolutely. Going back through our mid-pack here, we got Apex Guardian finishing his best race of the season, 15th place. Racing Hobo with a strong finish in 16th. Irish Jerry with a strong finish in 17th. Digda, also strong finish here in 18th. Edward up in the top 20 here for 19th place. Sam, new face here tonight, up in the top 20 here with the 20th place finish. Good job by Sam. Got Vic in 21st, Oreo Halfkin in 22nd, Delta Mike in 23rd. Ramen was a new face here, I believe, tonight as well in 24th. Lamine in 25th. Rapid Duck finishing here in 26th. Bombastico in 27th. Mad Max out very early in 28th position there. So 35 laps down here in the race tonight. Not a very good race start for that driver, unfortunately. But hey, that's racing, ladies and gentlemen. And what a race it was here at Indy again tonight. My goodness.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send you to our league intro video. And immediately following that, we'll be right back following our intro video with our podium interview. So we'll send you away with our league intro interview, our league intro video. And then following that, we'll be right back with our podium finishers, Asberos, Kazimitsu, and JP Desdub live with us here on the podium interview. So we'll be right back.
So we are getting copyright strikes on the music for the intro video, but I don't think we're getting any action taken against us on the music for the intro video. Copyright strikes against the intro video, but I don't think I am anyways on my page. But I'm not getting action taken against me, so we'll just keep rolling it. I haven't been having any enforcement taken, so I think it's probably copyrighted music, but YouTube probably hasn't covered under the licensing window, so if nothing ever gets, I don't think anything happens. It just goes away. We shining, platinum sound cool, but we trying to reach diamond. Hard work pays off, that's perfect timing. Changing the world with this rhyming is priceless. We got the nicest by putting the time in. Can't be the greatest, you're not even trying. What now?
We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. What now? We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up.
Hello? Man, I lost track of time. I apologize, Mama. Go ahead and eat without me. I'm still on the grind.
I ain't touching home base by dinner time. All I can see is the finish line. Started, I gotta finish mine. It's get it time, anytime, hella long. I've been in line, I didn't mind it all. Waking bake won't take a break at all. That's on my word, my boss. Naming lights gon' have to pay me twice or pay me no mind, and I don't mind it all. My grind is grit, I am my job to inspire. I'm right behind go to a line that's been fired by a chain for a time. I ain't get hired, second week kicked in, I probably won't get tired. Kevin Gates or Kevin Bacon, only 6 degrees of separation between me and the next level of elevation. Perseverance, the art of dedication. What now? We on the chase to the sundown. We on the chase to the sun up. What's up? Leading the line when we run up. Chasing, chasing, chasing. Every day we chasing, chasing, chasing. No time to be wasted.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so great video there provided by the Infinite Racing League and community group there, just to give you a little taste, little hype before we get these amazing races underway. And while we were in our commercial break there, providing that great imagery there for everybody, we have our race winner in the booth with us here. So let us have a quick word with Eris Cerebros? How do you say that name and start with? I have been trying to figure that out since we've seen you this
Me
series.
too, man. Let's be clear right now how you pronounce it.
Yeah, so it's like two Greek gods, two names of two Greek gods. So Ares and Reba.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean you can just say Ares or whatever.
I got it.
I'm
I got
gonna
it.
go Rebos. I'm gonna go Rebos.
I figured there was some kind of mythology in behind it there, but I just hate butchering names, you know. But it was funny, you know. We were joined by MX Blocksman in the booth here today while he was away from the racetrack. He come in and had a few words with us, and we were talking about the drivers that look good in practice, and of course from the obvious, Rapid Duck and JP always fast as always as they are on the racetrack. You know, Blocksman said that number 21 Porsche is a driver really to look out for today. Keep an eye on that guy, and here, lo and behold, here you are on the top step of the podium in round 3 tonight. I mean, you come into the series, you've been cool, you've been calm, you've been collected, you survived, you've been caught up in a little bit of chaos, and you finished really well this season and showing great pace. So I get to slot the first top of the podium here this season. Congratulations to start off with. How you feeling, and talk us through your race night here.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thanks to you guys, supporting and everything, to start. But yeah, I was sweating those last few laps. I thought for sure, like, I was gonna get caught and pass pretty quickly because my tires were done. And I had a couple moments where, I threw some more brake into the front, to try and go a little deeper in the corner, and because I knew I'd have to probably defend, and my car did not react like I thought it would when I did that, and I had a couple moments towards the end. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to second place, great driving. On the first lap, I made a bonehead move and I missed my braking point, and I almost got into him. So I just want to say thanks for racing me clean at the end. And I'm not sure what happened at the end, but I mean, I was sweating. I thought for sure he was going to go around me.
Absolutely, man. I mean, as that battle was happening, man, I mean, there was battles behind y'all brewing too, but that battle you two were having, it was like one mistake. I'm like, 21 makes one mistake. You best believe Kazumitsu is definitely gonna capitalize. The way he was moving, slipstreaming off of you. I know you was completely on defense mode at any part in time? Was you worried about the car cannot fit here? I got to put this car in the right position. I mean, mistakes were minimal. At any point, did you feel that pressure behind you, to the point where you felt like the mistake was gonna come at some point?
I mean, so my first two spots on the track, I was most worried was at the end of that first straight, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I knew that. I think he drives a Lambo. That I might be mistaken, but I knew like
McLaren.
that McLaren. Yeah, I knew. Well, the Porsche is like driving a brick. I mean, I knew that I was going to get taken advantage of on the straight. But somehow, he didn't go for the. I was pretty sure if he went for the dive on that first turn, I was done for. I was just going to give it up because I just had nothing. If he got around me, I knew I had nothing to come back with. So it was really
I think
that.
from what we saw on film, I think it was your defensive mode. I think probably let him be more cautious and play more safely. But we'll find out from the driver himself. But from what I saw and what Ghost saw, I mean, your defensive mode was very strong. Where I know if I was driving, I definitely would know that you're definitely gonna make that defensive mode there, where I make it look like it, but I'm definitely gonna pull back. But that's me. But again, your defensive mode was at level 100. At the last, I want to say 3 minutes of the race, because he was on your ass.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I got out of the pits, I looked at the time. First, I was surprised. I came out behind Fluka, and I was like, "Well, Fluka's got a pit, I think."
Yeah.
I thought JP was gone because earlier in the race, I was first or second, and he was in like ninth or something, and I didn't I didn't want to battle him because I figured he was going to cycle back to first once I pitted. so so I just let him go, and once I got out of the pits and I saw I was in like second, I was like, "Oh crap, what happened?" And then I looked and I saw, he was behind me by like 5 seconds. And I was just like, I got to see if I can do something here to
Right,
either
take
clear the
advantage.
gap or something.
No doubt, no doubt.
Absolutely, and I mean, it was great racing, hard battling, but I mean, you're just putting the car in the right places there, and Kazi was definitely looking for a way around. I mean, he was looking, he was showing intent, but not necessarily going to make that move, trying to psych you out back there. There was definitely some games being played between yourself and Kazi, which really made for an exciting race end. But I think ultimately he just went to bob in for some clean air and realized his braking point had just slipped past her. I think he just went a little late on the brakes going into that one corner there, and kind of had to catch himself up a little bit. But it was great battling and great racing, and you've been cool, calm, collected so far all season long. It doesn't seem like you panicked too much on the racetrack, and tonight that really paid off with a big race win here for you tonight. So congratulations on a really hard fought, well earned top of the podium.
Yeah, thank you guys too, and obviously thanks for IRL and everything. It's been great racing here so far. I think this is like my first league, so it's been exciting. It's been clean racing from everybody on the field, and definitely some great battles. So I look forward to some more racing.
Definitely. How do you feel going into next week? We got Paul Ricard wet at a 90-minute. How you feel going into that one? You feel like you're ready? Do you feel you know the track, or are you worried going into into that race in the wet?
So I'm not good at Paul Ricard. I mean, when I played the F1 game, I was good at Paul Ricard, and then I switched to ACC, and I'm just, I feel like I'm not that. It's not my strongest track, and then we're gonna throw in some wet, so that'll be quite the excitement. And they got those long straights at Paul Ricard.
Yeah, that's gonna suck for you.
That's gonna be rough. So,
That's
but
gonna
yeah,
suck.
it'll be good racing, I'm sure, for the community.
Well, listen, man, we thank you for joining us tonight, man. Congratulations again on the podium win, on the race win tonight as Rebos. And we look forward to joining you, seeing you on the grid next week, and hopefully maybe even have you on the podium interview. So, man, so good luck next week, man, and thank you for joining us. And again, congratulations on the win tonight.
Yep, thank you.
All right, man. Looks like we have our second podium winner, Ghost. Let's make the introduction.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So a hard battle from this driver. He qualified really well. Made a very early move on at the beginning of the race, and found himself battling for first place right down to the checkered flag there. GLR's Kazimitsu coming in. First time on the podium here as well here this season. And we got two new faces standing on this podium here tonight, and that is what we love to see. And you know what? Indy has the most epic
Yes,
podium
sir.
ever in the winners where they have their ceremonies too, just for the record. So great battling. I mean, you know, you faced a little bit of adversity in this race. I mean, you had to fight hard to stay up in the top five of this race. And I mean, you know, pit strategies, you had a lot of lap traffic you guys were dealing with, and you had this crazy battle with the Porsche at the end of the race, and just made a little bit of a mistake there in the final sector there, and unfortunately it just set you a little too far back to challenge again. But you know, overall, pretty happy with how your race went here tonight, because it was definitely some fantastic racing.
Yeah, evening, gentlemen. I think my heart has just about calmed down.
No worries.
Oh man. Yeah, first of all, just thanks to you guys for commentating, for putting on this series. It's really great to be taking part of it. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet because it's 2:45 in the morning here in the UK. I've got
Absolutely.
work.
We thank you first of all, we thank you for being up with us and participating, man. Thank you for interviewing with us.
No problem at all. No problem at all. And hats off to Aeroboss. Oh man, that last lap. I'm not sure. I think Ghost said, yeah, I lost it into turn 5. I was too close behind him, and I lost my braking point. And I knew that was it.
Wow, yeah, because we know we just saw you go off camera. We like, oh man, at that point, man, I think Ghost and I was both like, crap. Because it was a battle, man. It was juicy. It was so juicy to the end. Like, I mean, you was bumper to bumper. And
yeah, it was juicy. It was juicy.
Absolutely, man. And how do you feel your pit strategy worked out for you tonight?
I mean, I'm going to assume that Aeroboss just went for a refuel and didn't change tires. That's how he got the jump on me. So I went for tires and refuel. I think that's why I had better pace in the second half. But I didn't really put a step wrong for the whole hour. I think I'm more just impressed with not binning it. I'm pretty good at binning it.
Gotcha.
On my own, do you know what I mean? But I'm not great with close racing, close fighting. Just not all that experience with it. So I'm just really pleased that we got over the line. Like I said, hats off to Elboss and to JP. Fantastic racing, great comeback from JP as well. And to everyone else, I think me and Rapid Duck at the beginning, I was tagging on to him for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then I think he had it coming together with a back marker, so that was unfortunate. And also Fluker at the end. I'm not sure if he was on super worn tires because he hadn't pitted. But yeah, I'm pleased with the strategy. Pleased with the overall result. Obviously, would have loved to have got that top step, but ultimately, I didn't want to take us both out. You know, that was the main thing. So.
Absolutely. That just brings me to one note. You know, on the second last lap there, you really made the intention. It looked like you were going to make the move going into turn 1 and 2, and you know, Rebos actually gave you the room to even do so, and then you backed out. So is that just kind of a part of the playing of just not enough confidence due to the lack of experience of close racing you were just talking about that we saw there?
I mean, I know I had better pace. I know I had better pace. He was on obviously worn tires. Yeah, coming out the slipstream was just trying to force an error for Aeroboss. But he kept it pretty tidy. Kept me honest. Yeah, I had a few guys that were lagging as well, some back markers. So I was super cautious of having those jitters. You know, and just having a connection sort of issue. And also, my screen was going to shut down. I had a 1 minute countdown on my screen.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
So I had a real panic moment. That was on the last lap as well. But yeah, I'm just glad we both came over the line cleanly. But...
Yeah,
Well, listen,
absolutely.
We know it's early where you at, man. Definitely great racing from you tonight, man. That close to first place there. But definitely, again, another race week next week. How do you feel? Next week we go to Paul Ricard, a little wet. But how do you feel? How do you feel? How are you with the track? Are you pretty good with the track? How do you feel going into next week in the wet Paul Ricard? I believe it's
Don't have a lot of experience at Paul Ricard, and I don't have a lot of experience in the wet. So I'll be putting in a bit of practice this week, basically.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. So look out for Kazumitsu next week. So hopefully we don't bend it next week. I doubt it, man. You're a pretty good driver, pretty good quality driver, man. We thank you for being up late and competing with us on this grid. Different times here on the U.S. side, but man, we're grateful for you being here tonight and participating every week. So we thank you for that, and congratulations on second place tonight. And again, that's a big game changer for points, and that puts you closer to the prizes.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys, for great commentary, great series, and hopefully be talking to you again next week.
Yeah, we'd love to hear you. We'd love to hear from you, absolutely. And we'll let you get to your beauty rest here. It's again very late in the UK, and we appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that finally leaves our third place finisher, our championship points leader coming into round 3, JP. He got that pole position of qualifying, doing JP things, I like to call it right now. He had great control at the beginning of the race. He made a little error with a little bit of understeer moment there. It cost him a few seconds on the track, but he regained, and then he made that pit stop sequence, and from there, I'm not sure what happened. He definitely fell through the field, but the charge that JP made back up to try and get back up into the front end of the pack, and the drag race to the checkered flag with Call Me CJ just edging him out there for that third place finish. I mean, GG's, great recovery drive. I'm not sure what you're recovering from because we didn't catch what happened there, but absolutely crazy pace at the end of the race to really close that 12.5-second gap down to grab that final podium position. Oh, did we lose him?
Can you hear us, JP?
I can hear you now, Choco, yeah.
I'm not sure if he's talking. He's definitely here.
Yeah, I heard him a second ago. We are having a couple of technical difficulties here at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with us. We did hear briefly, yeah. Discord sometimes is funny.
Yeah. I definitely want to hear his side of the story, man, because that was a heck of a comeback. Oh my God, 12-second gap closed in 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
He just muted himself, so he's working on it here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we were watching that battle for the lead at the end of the race, so we didn't quite see how that battle between third place and fourth place drivers, Call Me CJ and JP, fully went down. Unfortunately, we literally just caught them coming out of the final corner, drag racing it to the line, and I believe there was a lap flag car kind of in play there at the one point as well, but splitting the D, so to speak, on each side of that lap car, and JP just, again, edging out Call Me CJ by, I think it was about the hood space of that Lamborghini on the racetrack, so it was very, very close for sure. And that's two really, really big recovery drives we've seen from our championship drivers here in Infinite Racing League in just a couple of weeks. So JP's he's unmuting and trying to sort it out here.
JP, can you hear us now?
I think he can hear us. We just can't hear us. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. You betcha.
Ghost, you can go ahead. You can go ahead and ask him that question you have for him, because I don't think he had heard you.
Yeah, no, I was just a little curious of what happened to you at the pit stop there that put you in the mid pack, and then talk to us about how you made that incredible drive back to the podium.
Yeah, well, I had a misfortunate accident with someone else, and some damage to repair. And I came into the pit, did all the repair, changed my tires, and afterwards I just and tried to make the best of the bad situation and tried to do a comeback and see how far I could go. It was very enjoyable to go through the field and race with the guys, and yeah, really, it was awesome.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure what I just heard there. I just heard some sound, but it definitely got rid of the echo there that we had going on. So,
It definitely improved the audio.
we definitely we suspected that you had some kind of car-to-car contact or incident to be put back so far in the midfield, and you know, lap traffic was a little bit of a factor, I think, for a couple of drivers here tonight, and Indy is a great racing track, but there are definitely some spots on this racing track, even though it looks so wide, that it is so difficult to get around cars. And you know, with 28 cars on a smaller racetrack such as Indy, which is high speed to mid speed nature, you know, it definitely does get dicey. And I mean, you're no stranger to you know, dealing with that multi class style racing where you have different skill levels on the track and having to navigate through those situations. Was it any more difficult tonight, say, than it has been with Mount Panorama or our season opener at Kyalami?
Yeah, you have like big curves, big long curves in when you accelerate, and those one you're always losing grip in those corners, so it's very difficult to deal with traffic when you're in those big curves. So yeah, a very big lack of grip in this track I find, and yeah, that might be a factor you have to take into consideration when you're dealing with and when you're fighting anyone on track. Actually,
JP, tonight's race. Did you change tires tonight? And if so, did that help your race, or was it more you handling the car tonight? If you only did fuel.
yeah, I changed tires, and I think both strategies, changing tires or keeping them, would have been a good strategy.
Okay.
So yeah.
And there was a moment, you know, fairly early on in the race. I want to say it was about maybe the 20 or 25 minute mark there, where you're, you know, maintaining about that nice tidy 8 second gap that we like to see you try and hold on to in the early parts of the race. And you were coming through, I believe it was corner 2 and 3. And it looked like you had a really big understeer moment that kind of put you off track there. I mean, MX Block some touch based on how you know, the elite drivers of each platform can really just shake that off and kind of mentally block that and get back into the rhythm. Was that exactly the case after you had that little moment with the car early on in the race there?
Yeah, yeah, I nearly lost it at this point. Yeah, sometimes it happens. That's why you always have to be careful. Yeah, fortunately, I was able to keep it on track and just continue. But yeah, no problems there. Sometimes these things happen. Of course, you cannot be perfect always, all the time. So yeah, that was one time.
Well, JP, how do you feel? Comfortable now? We got 2 wins and a third so far in the season, man. You're pretty comfortable now, looking pretty strong in the championship. So how do you feel not going into next week? We're going to Paul Ricard in the wet. And what is it? Goes is it in 70 minutes, 90 minutes? I think it is. One of the two.
I believe this one's a 70.
70 minutes in the wet, Paul Ricard. How proficient are you? I think you like pretty Paul Ricard. I think you're proficient at Paul Ricard. But how do you feel going into next week?
Oh, it's a
In the
90.
wet,
I apologize.
90 minutes. There you go, 90 minutes. So 90 minutes next week, and I'm assuming we getting we're getting our drivers back next week. Because remember, today we were missing 6 drivers. So Johnny B is looking forward to the battle next week with you, but now he's gonna have to face you at Paul Ricard wet. How do you feel going into next week? And Johnny looking forward to coming back and look, he's looking forward to battling you again on the grid.
I believe it was quote I believe it was quote unquote. Ghost was asking if anybody has anything for JP this season. I have something for JP this season. Look out in round 4. I believe was Johnny B's exact words.
Facts, 100%. Your response, sir?
Sure. No, I'm gonna do my best. No, I know Johnny B is real fast, so I'm eager to see his pace at Paul Ricard. I think MX Bloxham is gonna be there also. It's
Yes,
gonna be
sir. Yes, sir.
interesting for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
I'm not sure though I'm gonna be able to make it next week, but I'll try. So maybe there's a 50-50 chance. Unfortunately, I could make it. But Paul Ricard is always a good track, so I hope I can
Especially
make
that
it.
backstreet.
And yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, hopefully we see you on track next week. But if not, real life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you'd like to add, Choco?
No, sir, JP, man. Listen, we look forward to seeing you next. We look forward to seeing you next week, man, because the championship is getting spicier now. We got a new podium this week, and we'll see what next week's podium is going to bring. And hopefully, we get to interview you again. If not, many more races to go.
Yeah, thank you IRL for the great organization as always, and thanks goes for and Choco for the super broadcast. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, brother. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, JP. Good night. Have a good night, man. I'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Well,
All
Ghost, I'll tell you, man, we had a good one tonight. I missed the first part of it. I missed the quality session of it. I'm pretty sure that was spicy in itself. But man, I caught some good action. I tell you what, and I gotta go back, and I can't wait to see that CJ and JP finish there, man. Because from what it sounded like, it was a heck of a watch.
You know what the great thing is, chat, Choco, IRL. We screen recorded all 3 rounds this season so far, so we have the actual live streams recorded hard right on my PC. So we may have to make some live call highlight videos maybe for you community members out there at the end of the season and relive some of these great moments that we've seen. Because let me tell you what, Choco, have we seen some moments this season already? We're only 3 rounds deep into an 8-round season. We have seen 2 amazing comeback drives from some of our elite drivers here, back-to-back rounds, and we are seeing some competition on the racetrack. We got new faces stepping into this series that are jumping on the podium. And I got to tell you what, Johnny B not being in the grid, JP having a little bit of a miscue here today, Rapid Duck going out early, MX Bloxham not being on the grid tonight, that was a massive opportunity for some of these drivers to really capitalize and build a big points jump. And boy, let me tell you what, this championship is going to get crazy through the mid-season here. To the newer drivers coming in this season, I mean, great pace out there at Indy tonight. We've seen lots of faces that have struggled early on in the season that have come out finishing up in the mid-pack here today. It really seems like the drivers are getting excited, they're settling in, and it really seems like they're starting to put the work in, preparing for these races from week to week. And I got to tell you, man, these have probably been we have seen some epic races here at Infinite Racing League in my time as broadcaster, I think over like 3 or 4 seasons now with these guys. This season is already shaping up to be the most epic season of them all so far. So, yeah, make sure you guys hit those sub buttons and likes and shares on the YouTube channels, because you are not going to want to miss another moment for the next 5 weeks of this series. And then future seasons coming in are only going to get more competitive and absolutely more and more hot. And the racing is only going to get crazier and crazier, I think, over the next few seasons here at Infinite Racing League. So definitely lots to look forward to here from ACC PS5, and the platform is getting a new version of the game in the future here too, whenever it is. They're finally going to give us some proper details on that, but lots of big things coming with that, and that's only going to amp up the hype here at ACC. So just want to thank yourself, of course, Choco, and your staff. You guys put a ton of work in behind the scenes to make all this happen week in and week out. There's a lot of moving parts. You got SimGrid involved, which is a great partnership for the league and, of course, for the racers. You have Coach Dave Academy, of course, involved with the partnership here with Infinite Racing League. And then, of course, you have such great community members. I just want to say thanks for the privilege to be here and to be a part of bringing the content out to the people's living rooms, because, boy, what a great community you got here, man. And I just want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to be here, and I definitely look forward to future seasons, that's for sure.
Well, Ghost, man, listen, we want to thank you, first of all, for providing us with a great stream and broadcast week in and week out on every Sunday series we've had thus far for a long time now. So we're grateful for you for that, man, and we look forward to many more broadcasts in the future here. So We thank you for that, man. Big shout out to you and GT45 Gaming for what you provide for IRL. And these guys look forward to it week in and week out. They enjoy the commentaries, the playbacks, everything, man. Everything you provide us, you just bring that realism to the simulation. So we thank you for them. We're grateful for it. So big shout out to you and GT45 Gaming. So, but yeah, man, we have a we're growing, we're steady growing, man. We definitely want to keep growing at the pace that it takes us, and yes, we're definitely creating some real juicy championships, and we plan on creating bigger ones, and we plan on getting together with other leagues as well in the near future, maybe in 2024, create a bigger tournament, bigger prize championships and whatnot. But we'll take baby steps. We got, we're going to start the talks on different things moving for 2024. So the 2024 plans are in progress, are in planning right now. And we have big plans for IRL now that we have broken down the division into two different categories now, two different divisions. Makes it easier for the admin teams to get their tasks done. And yeah, we're definitely growing and look forward to it. But at the same time, we want to be proactive as we grow and collaborate and keep the community engaged and keep them having fun with these events. And again, the more we race together, the more quality grade we can provide week in and week out. But again, it doesn't happen without the community. So we want to have a big shout out to all the drivers tonight as well. So big shout out to them from the admin team on the American EU division and the admin team overall. Big shout out to the community drivers for attending this championship for 3 weeks thus far. We've had a consistent grid. And again, tonight we were missing some, which brought us down to 28, and we still had 28. So this could have easily been over a 35 grid, 35 car grid tonight.
Some key players missing in the grid tonight, so the championship standing has not been just a race between a couple or three. The race has now become a race between a couple handfuls of drivers now after how our race shaped up here tonight as well. So going into Paul Ricard, we have seen the wet races here from Infinite Racing League, and they are non-stop excitement. So you're definitely not going to want to miss next week's broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. 90 minutes of Paul Ricard in the wet. The drivers, they're going to need 1,000% focus for this race. And, it's going to be slippery on the racetrack. So get your rain boots, get your raincoats, and get your umbrellas, folks, because the weather is looking a little damp next Sunday here from Infinite Racing League. But again, thanks for joining us here. I look forward to knocking this out with you all season long. We get a lot of positive feedback from the community when we get together and do these broadcasts. We always have, so it's exciting. It's nice to have another set of eyes on such big grids as well, so we can get more of the action to the viewers watching at home as well. And really, the only thing we're missing here right now from ACC PS5, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is just a little bit of a better, more functional spectator mode at this point. That's on my Christmas list, and hopefully the ACC Santa Claus is listening.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'll say that GT7 got a really, really good broadcasting system, man, as far as cameras go.
It's getting there. Getting there.
It's definitely way better than ACC, that's for sure. But I mean, you make it happen. You make it happen when you got the work there. So we definitely, the camera crew you have there definitely works with what they have and makes it great week in and week out for us. So you got a good team there, and we look forward to next week's broadcast, man. I'm definitely gonna be in the booth with you for the next 5 weeks. So I'm enjoying this too much.
With that being said, chat, we're gonna hopefully have a little bit of a different look on our stream here from Infinite Racing League next week for everybody as well. We have been in discussions about adding a couple of fun features to the live broadcast for everybody. So racers, do your hair and get your smile on and get those cell phones ready. And viewers, get ready to take a look at the action live from the racers' cockpits here, hopefully starting next week here at Infinite Racing League as well. So we strongly believe in trying to build that relationship between our racers and our community, our viewers, and hopefully this next little visual idea that we have here will help build that relationship a little bit more between our viewers and our racers. So Just a
I mean,
little bit of fun stuff.
Can you imagine broadcasting that battle between Barrows and Kazimitsu and getting live driver camera feed?
Oh, I know, right? I know, right? So we're
Is
gonna
that what
be.
the viewers want to see? Is that what the
I think
viewers want?
so. I think so. We're gonna mess with some things here in the off week, and we also have an outside timing system we're gonna start playing around with as well. So let's see what we can do here for you guys watching at home. We always want to step up the game for you guys. You're the reason why we work so hard to continue to bring these broadcasts out week in and week out, and why the racers come out in droves to put on a great show because of you guys watching at home. I mean, at the end of the day, we appreciate the viewers. Can't do it without you, and the pages are nothing without you guys at home hitting those buttons for us. So we appreciate you. And well, next week's a whole new race week. It is a doozy at 90 minutes in the wet to Paul Ricard.
Man, listen, I can't wait, Ghost. I cannot wait. Like I said, we're gonna be there in the booth, man. Like I said, I got my poncho line already. I got my umbrella ready to go and my swimming boots.
You know,
because it's gonna be if we get 30 cars on that grid, can you imagine the splatter that those cars are gonna get on them windshields?
oh, it's gonna be tough racing out there next week. That's for sure. Restock those beverage coolers, ladies and gentlemen. Get those pantries filled back up. Maybe call in sick to the teachers for the kiddies for school the next morning because
It's gonna be
a must-watch situation on Sunday. Let me tell you what. So we will be live at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. We start up with our intro and we break down how the race is going to happen for the evening, and then we bring you guys qualifying. So quarter two at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday night. We'll be live right here from Infinite Racing League and GT45 Gaming, and it is going to be our mid-season point, round 4 of 8, coming into this amazing championship season.
Already, man. Already on round.
I know. They fly by, don't they?
Man, do you know what tonight's podium has changed the game moving forward?
Oh, for sure.
A lot because I'm curious to see what the standings are gonna look like midweek after we resolve these IRs, whatever IRs are in place. So by midweek we'll know better what the standings are now. And I'm excited to see where it's at because next week, man, it's gonna be challenging for every driver in every car, especially if we get over 30 cars.
The only thing that we could say confidently right now with the unofficial results is JP should still come into round 4 as championship points leader. What that margin is undetermined at this point, but
exactly
2 wins and a 3rd place finish on the season should still, of course, secure that spot for him.
Yeah, you gotta feel pretty good at that point.
You know, going into the mid-season point, but he did say it is 50-50 shot that he may not make the grid in that race, and that right there is a crucial part of that podium interview here tonight. So, nonetheless, it's not going to take away from the fact that these drivers are going to give it 110% out there on the racetrack next week, and they're going to give it their all. And well, fiberglass and carbon fiber guys are ready to repair these race cars after the Paul Ricard race to get them ready for the next week of racing after that. So it is all good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, ladies and gentlemen, be sure if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, so that way when Ghost comes live, you get notified no matter where you at, what time of day, no matter where you at, you're gonna get that notification. We're live and ready to go, and enjoy every week. Definitely don't want to miss any part of this action, especially with the broadcast that we have. So don't want to miss any part of this action every Sunday, like Ghost said, at 7:45 live in your living room.
Absolutely, and as always, Shoko, it's a pleasure. I'm glad to see that imprint and that commentary seat start to fill back in again. You know, so I definitely look forward to the next 5 weeks of bringing this action in to the viewers with you. And well, Paul Ricard next week, 90 minutes in the rain, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss it. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for taking the time and hanging out with us here as always.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, bombing. Chat up here, lighting it up tonight. Hope you all enjoyed the race. A great race at Indy Motor Speedway here tonight. 60 minutes, 28 cars on the grid, missing 6 of our drivers here tonight, which would have related to a 34-car grid here tonight. Whew. What will we see next week? Well, We're expecting another 30-plus car grid, and it is going to be soggy conditions, and we all know that the rain races are absolutely epic races here on the Assetto Corsa Competizione PlayStation 5 platform. I am GT45 Gaming signing off for the night. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Tune in tomorrow night on the GT45 Gaming YouTube for some GT7 content, and we'll catch you on the next one. Stay winning. We appreciate y'all, and remember, you all matter.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.